all out of bounds. If you want to be a wise guy, you can do it anyway. If you want to be a strong man, you can do it anyway. If you want to be an Indian chief, cowboy, you can do it in the ring. You can do it in the mall. The most electrifying line in sports entertainment today. If you smell what the Rock is cooking,
hate me if you can survive if I let you.
I'm figuring and thinking that nothing's gonna stop the Macho Man Randy Savage now. I'm the man. I'm the icon. And yes, Bruce can't bow. I am God.
The number one show on the net that leads to the best in your head like overnight. For the punks and the perverts, this is how it works with Terry Funk and Knox Baker. Check Ishman and Barbie, they got the cheap heat, so sit back and have a seat. They got questions from the fans, in your head is the man from Australia to Japan.
Take down the road, get back to back stroke up the Mississippi.
We are bigger. We are faster. And we are all night long. All you idiots, punks, perverts, and fools, be sure and tune in and listen to this show.
www.inyourheadonline.com. Boom! All right, and we're live here once again at In Your Head Wrestling Radio. Is my boy Anthony Obesta is all excited here in the chat room. I am the internet icon, the pride of the pilgrims, the most honest man in all the podcasting land, handsome Jackie Jones. And we are here to do the show. Boom! That's right, In Your Head. The Valentine's Day special. Actually, Valentine's Day will be next week. So we got one more week. Super chat tonight or Venmo, Headyverse. And you will get a Valentine's Day card from Jackie Jones himself. That's right, a personalized Valentine's Day card for helping out In Your Head. That's right. You'll also be helping out the site to cover all these costs. It's expensive to do all the video and stuff nowadays. So help out if you can. You can also join the Headyverse. And if you can't do that, I understand, but you can do it's completely free. Is hit that like button. Oh, yeah. I know you boys and girls out there. Boom. Get the finger working and finger bang in your head. That's right. Hit that like button. Boom. Damn. Incher taking a pre-show nervous poop. No, Incher is too sleepy for the last 3 days, so he is not here. All right, but I am here to talk about the wrestling. Lots of stuff going on in the wrestling world. But if you want to be my Greg Valentine, so you can Venmo, Headyverse, or Super Chat, and I will send you a Valentine's Day card for St. Valentine's Day. Coast LPA, I'm not sure who you are, but it's good to see you. Jonathan Jackson, he hit the like button. Boom, yeah, that's right. Like it up, boys and girls and children of all ages. So Dynamite tonight, I thought this was an awesome Dynamite. Started super strong and ended super strong. A couple things in the middle I had issues. The only real thing I had a real big issue with is the announcement. And what makes it even more frustrating to me is you have this awesome show, and instead of like people saying, oh shit, that Hangman Swerve match, that was great, or oh shit, Sting won the tag belts, and then the beatdown, all this stuff, you'd be like, people are going to be like, man, what a dumbass announcement. Oh, Coast LPA is here all the time, just using an undercover name. All right, so I don't know who Coast LPA is. I was talking about Stream Deck and phyllo dough last week. That's right. Coast LPA is a big fan of phyllo dough. Gonna make some baklava. All right, gonna make some spinach pie. Get up the phyllo dough. So anyway, let me talk about this announcement first. And that's what frustrates me, because I want to just talk about how much I like the show. But I know people are going to be all online saying what a dumbass announcement. And it was. And Tony Khan only has himself to blame. And one folk, he was like, the announcement's totally cool because you don't want to give away, Sasha Banks, blah, blah, blah. Look, no one forces Tony Khan to go on social media every week and say, I have a big announcement. And he's done this multiple times to the point where it's a running joke that his announcements are stupid. People were on him on this even before the announcements were stupid. So that he would have stuff like, I've got a big announcement. And a lot of times it would be big. Like, okay, we're going to Wembley. And then some people will be questioned like, was it a big announcement when you brought in Keith Lee? It really was at the time, because he did have momentum behind him. Those announcements I have no problem with. And there were other stuff that was big. But then because people will find anything to pick on AEW or anything on the internet in general. But then he did have a string of announcements that weren't announcements. You don't need to advertise an announcement that tickets were on sale for the next Wembley. That wasn't a great announcement. And so it's a running joke. His announcements are dumb. So you have to have that in your mind. Oh, all right, guys, I get it. I can't make an announcement unless we have something worthy of an announcement. I'm not saying not to go on the show and say tickets are on. He could have done exactly what he did without advertising beforehand. You have a big announcement. If you advertise beforehand that you have a big announcement, you have to have an announcement. You can't say tune in because there's a big announcement, and the announcement is basically there'll be an announcement in weeks. That sucks. So the announcement was that tickets are going on sale to a show in Boston. That you can't advertise that ahead of time as an announcement. Our announcement is we're going to have tickets on sale for a Dynamite. And if he can't say, wow, our big announcement is we signed Sasha Banks and she's going to debut at Boston. I get that. But then what you do, you don't advertise you have an announcement. You control the show. You don't have to go out and be like, I got a big announcement. And my announcement is we have a big announcement in a few weeks, so go buy tickets. That stinks. Now, if you don't announce any of that and you just come on the show like, hey, we got a big show in Boston, and you can hit around what that means, totally fine. That's totally fine. That's promoting. That's wanting people in the seats so you can get a great reaction when Sasha Banks comes up. Totally fine. But don't go in advance talking about a big announcement of an announcement. Especially when you're already known for making dumb announcements. Now you're feeding in to people that already don't like you and are finding reasons to trash you online and make you look stupid. You're making yourself look stupid. I want AEW to do well and prosper. So you have a great show, but you mar it up with this dumb announcement. And I know that's what most people will be talking about. Instead of like, oh shit, did you watch your show? So Tony Khan, just stay off social media. It doesn't do you any good. You either get upset about nonsense that you shouldn't care about, or you make announcements about announcements and you look like a goof. I'm not anti-Tony Khan, but I'm anti-Tony Khan in social media. So stay off the social media. All that being said, dumb announcements. It's a lot better than other activity from former owners of other companies. We'll say. Swerve. So we opened the show with the big match: Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page. And I've been saying for last couple months, don't fight the audience. Get behind Hangman. Well, you can get behind him too, but get behind Swerve. This is the guy the crowd has chosen organically. They really want to see this guy as the top guy. They love him. Him and Nana. He comes out, looks like a superstar, gets superstar reaction. He has the it factor. Nana adds to it. A good he helps. You've got the no nonsense Swerve. You got a little the sizzle with Nana. It works. The crowd loves the dancing spots. I love the dancing spots. So don't fight the crowd, I kept saying. And it seemed like they were going to. But tonight we had the great double turn. The old they did different. I was gonna say Austin Hitman, the double swerve people always talk about, but they did the same thing here. We actually saw the heel Hangman, straight up heel, and I think we had the straight up babyface Swerve. Great match. These guys bring the best out of each other. Not only has this feud cemented Swerve as a superstar, to me, a guy to build the whole company around, your future, main guy. It's also redeemed Hangman. I was pretty much done with Hangman. After World Champ's kind of a dud. The World Champion run was a dud. I haven't really cared much about him. And then Hangman, with the work shoot, Swerve with the work shoot on Hangman about the guy who, he's just an emo dude and he doesn't really bring in all this stuff. And then this whole feud really brought it out of Hangman. He deserves a lot of credit himself because it takes two, to put on such these great matches in a feud. He's got the heel mustache. Crowd super hot. Some really hard bumps outside the ring and flips and whatnot. I know some people are anti-flips. I'm not. There was lots of reversals, a lot of near finishes. I have a lot of notes here, but basically just a great match. By the end, Hangman's really getting booed when the fans think he's going to win. We had this awesome chance. For people, I think a lot of times they say like there's no psychology in these modern matches, and I don't think that's true. We had a lot of stuff built around Swerve hurting his ankle. So he did the stomp, which hurt his ankle, which led into really the rest of the match. We had some outside the ring stuff. I think he did the dead eye on Hangman to the table. Swerve misses the stomp after he'd already hurt the ankle. Hangman does the buckshot lariat. Swerve reverses that into his finisher. It's a great series of moves. And then a slight delay on the pin because of the hurt ankle, which resulted in 1 second away from the pin, and it goes time limit draw. And this was the time to use it. And then this was great because fans are bullshit. They wanted Swerve to win. I wanted Swerve to win. And Swerve's like, 5 more minutes. And you just assume Hangman's going to be, hell yeah, 5 more minutes. But Hangman, with a great heel line, he's like, no, Swerve, you had to beat me to get the title shot. And you didn't, which means it's over for you. It's the end of the line for you. And I was like, fuck, that is a dastardly heel. Even though he's technically right, he doesn't need to beat Swerve. Swerve need to beat him because Hangman's the number one contender, I believe, or however it worked. But either way, this was good stuff. The ref comes out, and no, it's Tony Schiavone. He's like, they made a decision. It's gonna be the 3-way match at the pay-per-view. So that's cool. You're going in. this really works because you have Joe is a heel, but not necessarily like a hated heel. He'll get cheers depending on the crowd. Hangman is a straight up heel now. Then you have Swerve that the crowd is organically behind, and he's going to be the underdog because it's, you know, you got the two heels basically. So this is well booked. They also are doing a really good job. I remember last year a big problem in AEW was they would wait like a week before the pay-per-views to announce a lot of the matches. I remember the show after Wembley, like you didn't know I don't think you knew anything going into the show until that week. Even Wembley, they didn't announce a lot of the matches, and that was their huge show. So I think they took that into consideration, and they've been doing a better job with that. And we already have some big matches for the pay-per-view next month. So we've got Swerve and Hangman and Joe in the three-way. We've Tony Storm and I forget the new. I'm sorry, Diana Prazzo, and Sting and Darby. I guess will now be defending the tag belts against the Young Bucks in Sting's retirement match. So right there, you have three, you know, marquee matches that I'm looking forward to, and I think you know, most people are who, you know, follow the product. So great opening. No ads during that. So right from there, though, I think it's a mistake to put this match right on after. Not so much Tony Storm, because I think Tony Storm's a hot act in the company. Very entertaining. Always been a Tony Storm fan, but always was kind of lacking in the charisma and personality, probably. And then once she got the timeless character, one of the most entertaining people. And Lexar says Nana's over too. I mean, I literally mentioned that Prince Nana is a big part of it. So, yeah, Nana is very over. And Nana doing the dance to help swerve up, which was pretty cool. So yeah, Tony Storm's great. Deanna's got the crowd behind her. I haven't seen enough of her to know if I'm a big fan or not. But to have Tony Storm versus Red Velvet after that last match, I was like, Red Velvet. And then they announced that Deanna's, you know, going to be facing Tony Storm for the belt at the pay-per-view. And then you have Tony Storm not defending this title, but it's an eliminator match. So if Red Velvet wins and she gets it's a very convoluted, and it's just like, we know Red Velvet, like, come on. So you think this whole match is about building Deanna and Tony Storm, and no one in the world thinks Red Velvet's going to win. So it's just like, this should really just be like a squash. And the Red Velvet character is complete cringe. Complete cringe. It's terrible. Red Velvet, she comes out with a bib, and she's or an apron. She comes out in an apron, and she's mixing, you know, imaginary batter, and she's from the kitchen. Fucking horrendous. This sucks. This is like a early 90s WWE like jobber gimmick, when they used to give like the job guys some gimmicks, when you had like TL Hopper and the Goon and stuff. This is like something they would give. Okay, we got this other jobber, she's a baker, and you know, she's the bacon lady, she makes cakes. Like, that's not a gimmick for a wrestler. It stinks. So she's a good looking girl, she's athletic, she has personality, she has confidence. Not great wrestler, but I think it's mostly because she's very green. She might be fine. Take her off TV. They don't really have developmental, but have her wrestling on Dark, or they don't have Dark anymore. Wrestling on Ring of Honor, maybe. Get some seasoning and repackage her under something. Even the Red Velvet name's not bad, but just repackage her completely. She can't be the wrestling baker from the kitchen with the invisible batter and an apron. It sucks. Completely sucks. So get rid of that whole character. Leave her off TV for a while till she's more seasoned, and bring her back, and people hopefully will forget about being from the kitchen and invisible batter. It's horrendous. People say, well, Aunt Jackie Jones, what about Tony Storm? Is that believable? Is it entertaining? I don't care if it's believable. Is it entertaining? Yes. Is the wrestling Baker entertaining? No. So this match was better than expected, and the crowd didn't completely die, which I expected this would be like the death match. But still, it was not a good thing to put on after the last one. But they did a good job in building towards Tony and Deanna for the pay-per-view. The good crowd here, though, too, is they showed the crowd a lot because it was pretty packed and very noisy, very loud. Red Velvet gonna stir it up. It stinks so bad. Mighty Lakes are straight from Interest Kitchen. Yeah, I'm a big Tony Storm fan. Blackpool Combat Club versus 3 lucha guys who I tried to get the names, but I don't know. Heshinero, Mascara something or other, and Volador Jr. Match was great. I'm a huge fan of the Blackpool Combat Club. I'm not against luchadors. These guys look really impressive. AEW is really, in my opinion, ruined any chance of luchadors in the company really being anything because they always lose. Never, ever win a match of any consequence. They never win. Never win. So these guys, the outsider guys coming in, they don't win. Heshinero, lost. Pentagon always loses. He's always in big matches, always loses. Ray Phoenix only won that one time because Moxley got hurt in the match. Otherwise, he always loses. Commander, very impressive guy, never ever wins. Comes out, you automatically, it's a mask guy. They're just a job dude. Yeah. Now I guess Mitten doesn't like AEW. I thought tonight's show was awesome, actually. But Mitten, I found he only likes gay jokes. That's the only thing he likes. So if there's not heavy gay jokes, he's not a fan. But this show is great. I mean, Swerve and Hangman was awesome. Blackpool Combat Club, great. But again, would it kill you to put on a video promoting these? Let us know, for someone like me and probably most people watching. I have no idea who these luchador guys are. That doesn't mean they're not good or you can't get something out of them. It just means I'm not familiar with them. I'm ignorant to who they are. Ignorance not necessarily a bad word. I don't know who they are. And you can't just assume your whole crowd knows everything, everyone who wrestles in the entire world for every promotion that exists. So I don't watch CMLL. Barely even know that it's a company besides the name. I've never seen a CMLL show in my life. Is that my fault? Do I have to follow promotions of other programs I'm not even watching? That doesn't seem like it's my fault. I shouldn't have to know everything to watch the promotion I like. So show a 2-minute or a 1-minute video with some highlights of these guys. Tell me who they are. It's not hard. It's only been done for the last 70 years since probably 100 years since wrestling existed. When a new person would come to a territory, they would explain to you who they are. Every time I watched televised wrestling since I was a kid, when someone new would come in, you know what they show? They showed vignettes building them up. And some of the times the vignettes were better than the wrestlers themselves. And it got me excited. Oh, fuck, I'm finally going to see Outback Jack. Now, Outback Jack, he sucked, but they built him up so much in the vignettes, I was kind of excited. Razor Ramon, some of the best vignettes ever filmed. Mr. Perfect, we remember to this day his vignettes. And both of them ended up being great. And as soon as they debuted, They were over, and we knew who they were because they explained who they were in vignettes. Now, you could say, oh, well, Jackie Jones, why are they going to show vignettes? These guys that are coming one time. Okay, maybe not a vignette. Show a little video package saying, hey, this is Booty Ba, Habada, this is Sabadago, Mascata. And he's awesome. He does the 380 into the pile driver. And this guy, El Salvador Jr., he can do, he can walk on water and do a plancha, into off a building. Cool. Show that. They do all this stuff. Awesome. Now I'm excited. I'll see him. I remember when Ric Flair, when he was wrestling in Japan, he lost the belt for a little while, and then he went over to Japan and wrestled. They showed a video of the guy who's wrestling, so I knew who he was. They didn't just assume everyone watched everybody in the world. So just show me what they are. So we had the big announcement, which sucked. Now, will it end up being good? Probably. I'm a big fan of Sasha Banks. I think something they've been clearly working on is a women's division, which is a good thing. I'm a fan of women's wrestling. When it's good, I'm a fan of good wrestling, men or women. And so you brought in Deanna's really good. Rise Tony Storm. I hope you bring back Britt Baker, arguably the most over woman in the company. At one point, maybe the most over wrestler in the company. But you bring in Sasha Banks. That's a legit, top star. It'll bring interest. She has a big following. Do it in Boston. You're going to get the hometown reaction. So that's all good. But you can't promote that you have an announcement. Your announcement is you have tickets to a show in Boston. We went over it early, so I'm not going to keep saying it. Jericho versus Takeshita. This was fun. I'm glad to see the fans back into Jericho. Jericho did the big dive with Takeshita's mask on, but I legit don't think he could see through it, which was kind of funny, but also maybe dangerous. Almost could have died or whatever. This is a good match. I'm a fan of Jericho's and Takeshita. Takeshita was a guy who had a lot of momentum. And then he was off TV for a while, which I didn't quite understand because I think this is another future, top guy in AEW. Either top guy or, close to it. Definitely a guy you could have in main events. Great all-around wrestler, big for an Asian guy. Has a great look. He's younger. He's not like some of the Asian guys they bring in who are, like 80 years old. So Don Callis is the man. So much heel heat. One of my favorite managers. So this is really good. So you you hit him with the screw. Don Callis hits him with the screwdriver. And Takeshita puts I think Jericho had him in the walls of Jericho. Don Callis throws the chair in. The ref sees the chair, takes that out. That gives Don time to jump in, stab Jericho with the screwdriver. Takeshita puts on the crab on Jericho. They do the old school 1, 2, which is good. They do this because they do this in Joe matches, and that's usually how he wins. And then they go to the 3rd. Jericho does the old school, gets a hand up, which does get a pop from the crowd. And Takeshita then pulls him in, and Jericho taps out. So really good match. Then we get the big absolutely. This is what I need to get trending on Twitter. Everyone tag Ricky Starks and Big Bill absolutely. And also mention that Jackie Jones of Iowa Wrestling came up with the name absolutely. You take absolute Ricky Starks' name, you add in Bill, absolutely. This is the name that you should use for this team. It'll take them from like these guys or something to hot damn. These are a main event tag team up there with the LOD, Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, the British Bulldogs, the Hart Foundation, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, Edgar Christian, APA, New Age Outlaws, maybe even up there with the Highlanders. Who knows? Absolutely. That is the name they need. So, defending the titles versus Sting and Darby Allin for years on this very show. And if you call me a liar, go back and listen to every episode since Sting came in. And I said, why not put a belt on Sting before he retires so he has a title in AEW? I love it. People say, well, why don't you put the world title? No, I'm not a dumbass. You don't put the world title on Sting, but you have 2 sets of trios belts. You could put that on. Back when Punk was around, I thought that would work. Or put some other face-painted dude in there. Or maybe with Copeland, you could have threw him in there. Where the hell is Adam Copeland? Or you could put the tag belts on him. And that's what we did. So we had a great match. I always get a big smile on my face watching Sting wrestle. I am kind of sad. It'll be coming to an end. But what a send-off for Sting. Way better than if he would have retired after that last run in WWE. I honestly, it's one of my, I won't say it's his best run because, I mean, his early 90s, late 80s WCW stuff, tremendous matches with Flair and Vader and Regal and Cactus Jack. I'm not an imbecile. And then the Crow during Nitro, the year of that, people, that's like an immortal run. People always remember that. But it's probably right under those for me. Not probably, it is. It's right under those for me. Probably better than after the first Crow run. After that, it really went nowhere. But this is up there with one of my favorite runs of Sting. I get a kick out of it. They don't make him look like an asshole. They make him get beat up, and you just cry and like, man, this is great. Here's my hero looking like an old man. No, it's fun. It's good stuff. They treat him like a legend. He clearly enjoying himself, doing some crazy ass shit. It's awesome. So we had Sting and Darby win the tag belts, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. I love it. And then Sting's kids are out in there, and then you have the dastardly Young Bucks run in. Old school in white suits, all white suits, to beat Sting and his dastardly little bastards and Darby on with a bat. Blood is spewing everywhere, all over the white suits. Very old school, wearing all white when you're getting the blood. It's a great image. You're up there with the white suits and all blood, spattered in blood. This was good stuff. And then I assume now at the pay-per-view, Sting's retirement match, not just his retirement match, they're going to be defending the belts versus the Young Bucks. And I really question what will happen. Because do you have Sting win his retirement match? Normally I would say yes. But do you have Sting win the retirement match and then what? Retire as tag champ? What? I don't know. Do you have the Young Bucks beat them? I know going in, we're going to have people who, and the company is really playing off people's perceived notions online that the Young Bucks have politically gut themselves, politicalized themselves into this retirement match. And they're like these Machiavellian masterminds, these evil overlords who have used the company to bury, FTR, who have won the belts, multiple times, and now to get Sting's retirement match, and now they'll beat Sting in his retirement match, and they'll take the tag belt. So I think Darby and Sting actually beat the Young Bucks, but I'm looking forward to it. So a great show, in my opinion, unfortunately marred by the dumb announcement. But you had some really good stuff. And you did a good job building towards a pay-per-view. The first two matches, especially, even Deanna and Tony Storm, I think is a match people are looking forward to. So yeah, we got Samoa Joe, Hangman, Swerve for the AEW title. We've got Young Bucks versus Darby and Sting's retirement match for the tag belts, and Tony Storm versus Deanna Prazu for the women's. She's the women's title. So yeah, good show, really good show. So yeah, I would recommend checking this one out, and I'm looking forward to I'm gonna get tickets to Boston. I enjoy going to Boston anyway. Last time I went, it was a really packed show, really fun. I might have to. Last time we almost missed the bus back. I went with my brother, and I was like, we could probably walk back instead of taking the T, which is a subway. But it was I have to realize my brother doesn't walk 10 miles a day, so it was a little. We were right, we almost missed the bus back, and then we would have to wait till 6:30 in the morning. So if we both go, maybe we'll have to leave a little early, or just take the T and the subway, which will be quicker instead of walking. Or I'll go and maybe Lexar will be all pumped for this. I may just stay the night after the show, head on over to the casino. Because the last time I didn't, and I actually heard that I always think the AEW guys are going to go to the casino, and I've not seen them here. But from what I understand, last time they were. So the one time I didn't go, they probably knew, like, Jackie Jones ain't here. Now it's time to get going, because he ain't going to take all the luck away and win all the money. Now we got a shot. All right. Retire looking at the lights like a true veteran. That's what I like about this, because that's what I think most people think, but I don't know. So Hans is that no, I mean, all I talked about is AEW right now, but we will talk about this right now. Any thoughts or updates on Brock Lesnar, or is it speculation at this point? Well, I think they don't want to be they being WWE and is it TKO or what is the freaking big company TKO? They don't want to be associated with anyone around Vince. Rightfully so. And anyone who argues, I find very bizarre. I mean, like, do you think that's a good thing? Like, hey, it really looks good for our company to be associated with this guy that's being investigated for sex trafficking. His employees of our company, and then he hired, illegally someone just to travel around and be his for sex, and then used NDA money illegally from the company, used company money without anyone's knowledge to shut this person up. Like, obviously looks bad. Being a big understatement. Then you've got Brock, who's involved in this. He's not named in the lawsuit. The lawsuit, though, is against the company itself. It's against WWE, John Laurinaitis, and Vince McMahon. And Brock is named in the files where they had the woman was, coerced to send video of her urinating to Brock, and then it's insinuated that the use of her sexually would be part of the reason for Brock to resign. So would I want my company associated with that? Hell no. So the idea that, like, oh, let's get him off this game and not use him, I mean, it makes complete sense. Will he ever be back is the big question. I mean, to me, it doesn't even. I think there's more important things than if I'll see Brock Lesnar wrestling it. But I almost want to say no. All right, so I'm not dumb. I realize if someone can make the company a lot of money, the chances of them coming back. But we do live in a different world today, and I don't say that as a negative. I think it's a good thing that people are held accountable for criminal activities. So that's what I want to say something about the whole McMahon thing, because I've seen people, the same people who for years I will talk about, like, everyone in Hollywood is Harvey Weinstein level, where they're all, everyone's this like big nebulous evil worshiping, satanic, whatever, evil worshiping person uses their power and fame and money to manipulate uh young people looking, either for job or fame or whatever, manipulate them for their sexual desires, usually, something very like their depraved sexual desires and all these things. And obviously that's horrible, of course. But I see people think everyone associated with Hollywood is like that. And then we see someone who really is, in reality, not just like, I think now Harvey Weinstein definitely was, and it's other people. And so, not this idea that just everyone, a blanket, like everyone involved in movies is this. We see someone who really is just like that. A guy, older rich man, doesn't matter if he's old, a rich guy with using his money and his power to manipulate and coerce, a young woman who's not in the best place uh, to do his bidding, and then it keeps evolving into more depraved things. So we see actuality of something I've seen these same people, rally against. And then those same people, not everyone, but a lot of those same people, then they're like, it's fine. Vince McMahon gave us George Animal Steel, and he should be allowed to do that. It's totally fine. It's like, what the fuck? So hopefully, in my opinion, hopefully he gets his just due, Vince McMahon, and this isn't just a monetary case, and this becomes a criminal case. That's my opinion. And boy, John Laurinaitis was quick to turn rat on Vince. Just right away, he's just like, boom, I'm going to tell all. I even saw it today earlier in a sworn affidavit. I should grab this somewhere. He admitted that the company knew about God, what is her name? I think I saved this somewhere. Ashley Massaro. So Ashley Massaro, during the one of the tribute to the troops, said that she was drugged overseas by, I think, the military, someone in the military, and she had claimed this, and then the company said it didn't happen. But John Laurinaitis has now admitted that they knew about it, and like told her, like, don't let one bad instance like ruin the good stuff they're doing. But I was like, wow, he's just gonna be singing everything, I guess, John Laurinaitis. And John Laurinaitis was saying he's a victim in this. Vince McMahon made him have sex with this young woman whenever he wanted to, whenever John wanted to. Which that, I mean, obviously I think that's preposterous, but it does, he's basically saying the stuff in the everything that she's saying is true. Then maybe he's innocent in it, but he's not denying that she was forced to do this stuff. He's just saying he forced me too. And this was something that I agreed with. And I'm going to give I want to give proper credit to Jim Cornette. Sometimes I'm not a big fan of his on the show. So last week I'd mentioned his take on the first video he put out about this. He's joking around, and I thought it was very odd. But I will say this in his defense: I listened to his take after I read everything about it. Jim Cornette had just seen like the headlines basically and started making jokes, which looking back, I understand all that. And then he's done follow up talks about it, and I think that good for him because he realized that like, oh, like I shouldn't just come out and joke about this after he actually read the details. So kudos to Cornette. I forget what I was going to say though. There's something about Cornette said that I was going to give him credit for, but I give him credit for changing his, not necessarily changing his tune. Once he read everything, coming out and saying what he thought. So the question though, Brock Lesnar, do I see him coming back? I don't know. So there's two things here. Just as a fan, I don't really care if he would come back. I've really been tired of Brock Lesnar just coming back every once a year and winning the belt or whatever. I used to be a big fan. I've kind of just got bored of his matches stuff. And just as a human being, like if he's tied in this, I would rather a company just say no. Yeah, maybe he can make us money, but we'd rather not be associated with that. So, TKO. That's what I said. Thank you, Jonathan. Jack's Mitten. Liberals afraid of Brock when he had nothing to do with Vince. That's right. Does this include Triple H? That is a good question, John Reddy. And I think we really need to know more because if he was aware, there are a lot of people who think Triple H will be a guy they do cut from the company. And as a fan, like, do I like what he's doing? I like it better, but I still don't think the show's honestly that much, not that great. But just as a person and stuff, as a human being, if he did know about it and helped either covered it up or didn't do anything about it, yeah, I mean, that's another guy. That's a weird one. We'll have to see. But if he is I don't think he's involved, like, doing anything with it. But if you knew about all this stuff and you actually didn't do anything about it, because part of the lawsuit was she said they were going to investigate it and no one ever contacted her from WWE. So it is possible that like the WWE really didn't look into this. I mean, Vince was back on the show after the first lawsuit came out. I think they're going to purge all the old guard from WWE in the next few months, guilty or not. They'll want a clean break. I agree. And it's hard for me to think there's different levels of guilt, obviously, but I would think from and just reading what was going on, like a lot of these people would have had to have known on some level. Now, did they know like the levels that things were happening? Maybe not, and hopefully not. Because that's a hard thing for me to get over, just as to even want to watch a show. If I'm watching the WWE product and like the whole company, like everyone who's like putting the show together, like knew like all the levels of this, and they were just like, whatever. Michael P.S. Hayes would never participate in such a thing. I will say his name's never brought up. So maybe he isn't. I don't know. But again, he would have to have, I would think everyone would have to know on some level. That shit don't play on Bad Street. Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. Baddest street in the whole USA. Yeah, I can't say this was a great take on anything from Kevin Nash. Almost like he didn't really know. I didn't think that was a good take, to be honest. Honestly, I think just the text alone are bad enough. Like you just read those and like, oh well, and then you take into consideration all the other accusations, all the other NDAs. This one was for what, 3 million. One of them was for 7.5 million, and it was like in the 90s, early 2000s. So if it was over twice as much as this one, which at for the time it was probably like, I don't know. I'd have to probably like let's just say it's probably like 12 or 15 million in today's money. Imagine like what the hell happened there? Because right away when the NDA numbers were coming out, I had said like, there's no way this is just for like affairs, because I can't imagine Vince would care that much if someone just knew he was having sex with like young hot women. But if they knew he was doing like, horrible things, that's completely different. The idea, which I know in 2022, I mentioned this last week, they made it that NDAs for like sex crimes aren't uh they won't hold up in court. It's like, why did they ever, like, you shouldn't be able to like, hey, sign this that you can't talk about this crime I committed on you. Like, that should never have been a thing. Like, um turncoat Laurinaitis, yeah. It's two things that will do really well in prison. Someone who's there for sex crimes and for being a rat. That is two things that other criminals really hold in high regards. Cody did it for The Rock. All right, let's talk about The Rock stuff for a minute. First of all, The Rock versus Roman's been built for years. That was really the point of the head of the table, was to build eventually to the Rock match. They tried to do it for the last few years, it never happened. If you take what the Cody stuff at face value, it's pretty lame that he would win the Royal Rumble and he'd be like, oh, let The Rock. And instead, I'm going to go for this belt that was made 6 months ago because my dad, never won that either because he was retired and dead when the title came about. Like, really? He never had that belt that didn't exist when he was a wrestler? Wow. So that's like super, super lame. But I think this is clearly just all a big angle. And we're going to get Cody in the match somehow. Does that mean we're going to have a three-way? Cody, Rock, Roman, possibly. Maybe we have Cody wrestling both nights. Maybe he wrestles Seth one night, then he wrestles the winner of Rock, Roman the next night. Or I can't imagine you don't have Rock in it either, because you can't advertise The Rock to people and then The Rock's not there. Now, what exactly happens, I'm not sure. But to me, it's clear it's an angle working towards Cody probably winning the title from Roman. Now, if you do the three-way, it can. My initial idea of that is it does dilute both storylines. But the more I thought about it, you're actually getting all the storylines together. You're getting Cody's finishing the story. You get Rock and Roman with the head of the table. You also get this new storyline of We Want Cody. So you get the culmination of all these things. You also, when's the last time Rock wrestled? Like 7 years ago, I want to say. And he like ripped every muscle in his body and had multiple surgeries. It's not going to be easier for him this time. It'll be even harder. So the idea of him doing a singles match, like a 40-minute singles match, is probably going to either not be pretty or it's going to completely kill himself. So if you do the three-way, you can get away, The Rock can get away more with just doing Rock stuff, doing his signature moves, not have to take a bazillion bumps. Because you can have Cody doing that. So it could be a good way to save Rock's body, culminate all the feuds, all that storylines, not just the feuds, all storylines, and still make everyone happy. People want to see The Rock, people want to see Cody, and to see Cody, win the belt. So that's my prediction. And I think it's clear they're leading. I don't know if it's going to be a three-way, but I think it's clear they're leading to not just Rock and Roman and Cody not involved. I think it's clear it's working that way. They handed out signs on Raw that said hashtag we want Cody. And I'm going to say all this stuff's smart to me because I think this is something that Triple H has been doing because it wasn't stuff that was when Vince was there. Is you can't make fans today think the matches are real. That is so long gone. And no matter what old timers will tell you, no one in the world, okay, maybe there'll be someone in the world. Hey, look at this guy lives in, this shack in the hills, Jack. He believes it. But 99.9% of your audience are never going to believe the matches are real. But what do they believe? What do they even get into? And also another thing, somebody will tell me, well, not everyone reads the internet. That's true, but way more people do today than did. And those people can affect the audience. There's no doubt about that. That's why Cody got a giant reaction initially, because people knew that he left AEW and he had reinvented himself in Japan and AEW. If anyone who wants to argue with me that, I will say they're completely wrong, because the last time you saw Cody Rhodes, he was Stardust. So there's no way the fans are like, fuck yes, Stardust has returned. They knew the backstory, and enough of the crowd knew that backstory where they had the big pop, and that becomes infectious where the rest of the crowd, they hear the other people popping, they also cheer him, and then eventually he wins them over anyway. So if you have enough people in the crowd that are going to either boo or cheer for something that's outside of what we see on TV, that affects the rest of the audience. So what I'm saying is, if not everyone watching the show has this, Rock's he's only part-timer, blah 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 blah. But if you have enough people who are in the crowd who know all this stuff and they turn on the Rock, that's going to affect the other people, and the rest of the crowd will also turn on. So to feed on that, you work the smart fans. So, for instance, the Punk stuff is clear now. For months, I read, I listened. Dave Meltzer would say this, and all the news sites were saying this. People on my message board or Facebook were saying this on our group. WWE has said they have no interest in CM Punk. They're not bringing him in. No interest. That was clearly a lie. How would they have known that? Did they just make it up? Now that's possible, but probably not. I wouldn't think everyone would just make this up out of the blue. WWE leaked out fake information to these websites. They called, hey Dave, it's Billy Bob. And oh no, my sources here, I overheard him saying blah blah blah. No interest. Oh, really? Okay. Then they just run with it. And I think they've been leaking fake information about this Rock and Cody stuff, that it's like, oh, Rock, he wants in, he wants to blah, 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 whatever. Then that's totally fine, because you're working the audience that they normally can't be worked. And we are going to eventually, which gets everyone else, like, we want Cody. Have kind of created their own, Daniel Bryan moment here. And I think we're going to work towards, we're going to see Cody in the main event. How they get there, that's part of the story, and I don't want to know the whole story. Watch it and find out. But that's what they're working towards. When I was filling out my heady ballot, I was looking at the current WWE roster, and I was surprised to see Shane and Stephanie still listed. Oh, yeah, I didn't realize they're still listed there either. That's interesting. A lot of speculation about Stephanie and Shane. Now, I don't know. I think it's pretty clear that Stephanie, if you look when she would leave, was not happy, being in the company with her dad. And I said that at the time. I mean, none of us knew exactly why, but The Shane stuff, I don't know, but they're saying like they did have like some kind of like they don't really talk and stuff. And could it be related to this? I don't know. That would be to me that stuff. It would be just speculation because we don't have text between them or anything like that. Cody did it for the cock. Johnny Ace did it for The Rock. And Miss Baba. Yeah. Man. What do you think, Johnny? Well, I don't know. Johnny Ace, he slept his way to the top, I guess. Ace didn't ant the deuce. I'm not sure what that means. Seems like Mr. McMahon is a real personality in the straight lace announce. Oh yeah, completely. It is weird to go back and I mean it was weird at the time, I'll be honest. I always thought the kiss my ass stuff like okay, people can say, you know, wrestling it's like acting, you're a character. Of course. I get that. But at the same time, you're still a man, a grown man or a woman, whoever, you're a grown person and you've got to kneel down and your boss, even if he's quote unquote in character is, you know, has his bare ass and you know, you've got to kiss his actual ass on TV and in front of a live audience with kids and stuff. That's clearly humiliating. No matter if it's, you know, in character, it's still your actual lips. And that was always weird, but now it's even more. I mean, I've said this for years on the show. He clearly gets off on, or got off on humiliating people and forcing people to do stuff they didn't want to do. So this stuff fits right in there. And I do see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm not surprised. And I think you'd have to be surprised to the levels of this. Are you surprised that he was having affairs? Absolutely not. Are you surprised he was like coercing people? I mean, maybe not, but to these levels, yeah, of course. And if not, like, what's that say about you? You're like, oh, I just assumed, you know, Vince was, you know, raping women and shitting on them. It's like, oh, you thought that? Like, the hell? Why would you think that? What the hell's wrong with you? Maybe when Cornette said how would an 80-year-old man victimize a 60-year-old New Japan? I'm not sure what that means, but kind of sucks that the guy that broke the streak likes to watch streaming content. But yeah, I mean, if he just likes to watch that in his own, do whatever you want to do. But Julie D, did you know that Jesus Christ is your personal Lord and Savior? God is a great God. All right. What is it? Boop, 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 boop. Dead Dreams last title run. Not sure what that means either. I'm not listening to Nash's take on the lawsuit against Vince, but I read a headline saying that Nash said Vince would die in prison if convicted. I agree with that. I do. Yeah, I mean he's up there. I don't know if he'd even make it to, like, I don't know. I hate to say this stuff on YouTube, but if I was going to jail for that kind of stuff, like, I probably would, like, I think I'd rather just take myself out. you know what I'm saying. Rock was gassed after the brief thing with Jinder Mahal. I would not say this, Vic, just because this guy's like a completely dedicated machine. So this is a big reason why he didn't do the match the last few years, is because he won't half-ass anything, and he wanted to get into ring shape. And ring shape, he knows what it takes to get in a ring shape. So he's probably in training right now to get the cardio up. So could he have done a match right then? Probably not. But by the time Mania runs around, I would fully assume he's ready to do whatever they're going to have him do. But I do think it's been years since the last match. I really think I predict a 3-way, but I would bet money it's going to end up Cody is in it somehow. That chick only stooged Vince out after he quit paying her. No, not exactly. They're probably going to avoid the phrase 3-way for a while. I didn't even think of that, John. That's a good point. Does not surprise me Nash is not railing against Vince until the lawsuit plays out. Defending his buddy Triple H's response. That Triple H response was really rotten. I don't care if you like Triple H or not. That response came off really poor, and I haven't heard really anyone think otherwise. I agree. I would rather see Rock and Roman, but I think it's clear they're working towards Cody in this. Jackson wants to see Baron Corbin versus Reigns. I believe that is the last man who pinned Baron Corbin or pinned Roman Reigns. Vince McMahon is wrestling's Patrick Bateman. Yes. Yeah, I think he's like Harvey Weinstein. Johnny Ace was in New Japan. Oh, okay. Takes a lot of steroids to get you into ring shape. Actually, that's incorrect. To get into ring shape, he really needs to do the cardio, not just get jacked. In fact, getting super jacked will probably work against him getting into ring shape. Pushing in the pokey. Damn. I give Piper a lot of credit for refusing to kiss my ass club and taking the stink face. Yeah, I agree. Come on. Isn't that... it was weird anyway, but now you're like, what the fuck is happening? Foley kissed that ass, though. Oh, Ace didn't want the deuce. What about Domino? All right. I'm going to go over these questions. If anyone, I'm not going to do a super long show tonight, but I do thank everyone for coming. If you want a video in, here is the link. I'm going to get over these questions here. We're going to answer these questions. Feel free to send in questions throughout the show. I'll answer them. And if you would like to help cover the cost of the show and also get your name in the thanks, I'm going to be redoing the thanks for the new year. Super chat or Venmo Headyverse. Everyone who super chats or Venmos will get a Valentine's Day card from Jackie Jones. And also fill out the Headyverse ballot. My man, my pal, my buddy, my amigo, my compadre, Jonathan Jackson, a good man. He actually made out a real ballot for us. So you can go right here and boom, fill this out. And let us know what your picks for the best of the year. Absolutely. That reminds me. I made a t-shirt design for Absolutely. Let me go grab this. It's from Mike Bessler. Not from Mike. I sent it to Mike Bessler, so I'm going to go grab it. I don't want to give Mike Bessler credit. He didn't make this shit. I made it. I made the Absolutely shirt. Like, if you just tuned in late, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Absolutely. You have Absolute, Ricky Starks, you have Big Bill. They need a tag team name. I'm a big proponent of tag teams having a tag team name, not just here's Big Bill and this other guy. So I made a tag team name Absolutely. And I made the t-shirt design, which I'm going to pop up here momentarily, for Absolutely. Absolutely. Boom. Look at that shirt. Absolutely. Damn. I'd put that up, but Jason Mitten, he'd narc me out. He'd turn Johnny Ace in a second. He'd be calling up AEW. He's like, quick, give me the cops. This Jackie Jones, this Absolutely shirt. But God damn, that's a money shirt. Absolutely. All the kids would want that. What's up? Mighty, let it all hang out. He's the mighty Lexa. Mighty. What's up? Wogo, he filled out the bouts. He will not get banned. Good, man. Lexar, you going to fill yours out or are you going to get banned?
I already filled out.
Good, man. I appreciate it.
Now we wait until the headies.
Yeah, we got to wait for Intro to wake up.
Yeah, he's. I think he's convalescing because of the whole Scott Demore situation.
I think he's just a biatch.
Well, he's been fired. Scott Demore been fired from TNA.
Yeah, but Intro was sleeping yesterday. That's why we didn't show. He's like, I'm too tired. I've been sleeping. But yeah, so Lexar, TNA did what I didn't think was possible. They got people talking about the show for the first time in like a decade or more. When we first started in your head, there was a buzz around TNA. Then it friggin' just died. And it was just like this desolate wasteland that no one ever like, hey, did you watch? No one in the world would be like, did you watch TNA? You just like, you do, good one. And you'd slap your knee and laugh. And then this last year, it actually has a positive buzz. People are liking it. For the first time in forever, they had like a sold out show. They were getting, they're signing like big names. I even wanted to watch it. And then they fire the guy who did this all for TNA. And then all their big stars, Jordan Grace, Moose, they're like, Jordan's like, he's the heart and soul of TNA. Moose said, if without him, there's no Moose. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I think they finally got a buzz. I thought it was impossible. They did the impossible, and then being TNA with the other, like, we have to fuck this up some way. Let's fire the man responsible for this, and the man that all our talent like. And apparently they lied to the talent. They had like a meeting and lied to him and said that Scott Demore quit when they fired him, and then like they wouldn't let anyone answer questions. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this company?
You couldn't do something like that on purpose.
Crazy. Can't believe it. That's too bad though. I was actually wanting to watch it. I see all this stuff and people praising it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Maybe it's because Jordan Grace entered the Royal Rumble. Maybe that's why.
How would that be bad? You'd be like, we got buzz from the biggest wrestling company in the world. That would be a positive, not a negative. Mickey James was also in it last year.
I don't know.
I actually agree with this. I like the idea of the Continental Crown where it's all three titles because That's less titles instead of more titles. But it is odd to defend it. The only way I guess it makes sense is if whoever has it, it's just then up for grabs in the tournament every year. But I don't know. I think it's better. To me, it should be like King of the Ring. Where I didn't really like it when someone won King of the Ring and they would defend the crown. But it's like you win that and now you're the king for the year. You win the Continental Classic and you're the Triple Crown champion for the year. Because I did actually like it. I went in thinking I wouldn't like it, but I thought it was really good TV. I liked the storytelling in the matches. Yeah, though that's too bad. All right. Let's go. Oh, you got anything on your mind, Lexar, besides Scott Demore? Team Canada. Luddite is a member of Team Canada.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I've been about over a week without cable.
What happened? Did you stop paying your bill?
No, my mom decided to become like a Stephen Butler, get a cable internet and phone. But now they fixed the line outside of this building here of my apartment. Well, not my apartment, my mom's. Anyway, and it interfered with the cable, so now I couldn't get any cable. So
Damn.
now I have to probably change TVs into because they gave like a small cable box, like it's not a brand new box. It's just like a small converter box. Yeah, but it's like cable. But you had to switch it to from. It doesn't work on old school television. It had to be on plasmas. So my mom says, "Oh, why don't you just switch with mine? I'll give you my plasma." And I said, "No, I don't want to." And I don't know. I probably might have to switch TVs now to get the new school with the
Yeah, so you're
plasma.
using like an old tube TV like Entry uses?
Well,
Old school. It works with my PlayStation 2 and VCR. I'm not sure with these plasmas if it works with my VCR and PS2.
The VCR will be really, I mean, it's bad quality. It'll be really bad quality on a widescreen. It'll work. It'll work, I think. I think it'll just be bad quality.
Yeah, imagine playing WCW Backstage Assault, WCW Mayhem on on the plasma.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'll look weird.
Jonathan Jackson, end of an era. Lexar loses his CRTV.
Mm-hmm.
Well, couldn't you just keep that TV to play your video games and your VCR, and then just get?
I can't. I probably had to switch. I did call the cable company 3 times, and they said, "Oh, the service is just bad." They said we just did a service, and all you need to do is hook up that thing with the plasma TV or something. I'm not sure.
I mean, could you just keep that TV, but also get another TV for the cable?
Well,
Do
I
you
have to
have a
get.
computer? Because it work.
I do have a computer. I do have a computer, and so I'll use that for my wrestling here on Peacock. Watching. I did watch. I didn't watch completely no wrestling at all. I did watch old school classics, classic Nitros, classic Thunders. I watched an old school Raw's War from 1993. I watched one from 2001. I watched a couple Clash of the Champions with Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, and the Shockmaster debut. What else? I watched WrestleMania 9. I watched NXT Vengeance Day, where Carmelo Hayes turned on Trick Williams, and I want to know if you rank that as one of the best friends turning on each other in wrestling.
I'll be honest, I've never seen either guy. So I have no idea.
Well, he was on SmackDown.
I don't watch SmackDown. I saw him. I think I saw him in the Rumble.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he was on SmackDown a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I haven't
Even
watched SmackDown in years. So I
he,
don't know.
even in the United States Championship tournament, he like competed in 2 matches.
Okay. So was it good? Did you like it?
It was great. I did watch SmackDown though, but I had to watch it in my mom's room. She was watching one of those
So did
telenovelas, but
so did you like curl up next to her like when you were a kid and like sleep with your
no,
mom, keep you company?
no. I ate dinner. I had like a desk and that she uses, but like she clears a couple of things off, and I put my food on the table
Mhm.
on that little desk with my little can of soda, and I watched SmackDown.
Do
And
you
when
ha-
she
is it
and
so
when it
you
goes to
drink
come,
like little cans of soda? You sit in like a high chair?
no,
Okay.
no, no, it's one of those big chairs she has. So I told her, and I told her if it goes to commercial or if it's a match I don't like, you could like change it to the novella.
Man, poor mom.
Well,
She wanted
that's
to watch some
temporary.
football mas.
She doesn't watch football.
She's like, turn it to Sabado Gigante.
Oh, that show's been canceled since over a decade now.
Oh man. Coast LPA wants to know, do you drink out of a sippy cup?
No, I drank out of I forgot to like take out the WWE one of those big souvenir cups. So I was late in doing that. So man, I had to take the little Mountain Dew can
Yeah,
and
this
drink
is
it.
true, Go. Unless I missed them, surprised old Johnny Ace still married to Bella's mom and believed she had cancer while Johnny Ace was cheating on her allegedly. Yep. Yep. Makes it all even worse. I think that Bella's put out some kind of statement.
Garcia twins now they're called.
I used to watch Super de Sabado before Triple A. Sabado Gigante! Oh, football, you must.
That's where you watch the old ECW, right?
Exactly. It was channel 27.
Canal 27.
Drinks out of a piss jug. Do you
Now
ever
that was
drink out of a piss jug in honor of your old buddy?
Piss Jug McGee's gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
I
don't
wouldn't
want
do
to be a
that.
gimmick thief.
No.
Well, I hope you get your own TV so you and your mom can both watch your shows. You can watch The View and she can watch, what does she watch? Novellas.
Exactly. She watches Spanish. She doesn't have cable in her room, so. And anyway, this one time when she did have cable, she like ordered like this all.
Porn?
Yeah, this one time, but she thinks it's too many channels. It's the same thing they show on every time they. It's the same shows, same movies, shows that she doesn't care for. But she has this one channel she watched, which is a all religious channel, and she watches churches from all around the country, in her country and in other countries. She watches church in Portuguese and Italian and
You need to get the Lord. You need to find the Lord, Lexar.
she already found it.
No, you. You ever watch these with her?
No,
Start praying.
no. She's becoming like a religious, like Mark, like her friend is. She got a best
Religious
friend who's
mark.
like, yeah,
Is that when you
yeah.
go to church, you just like look at all these religious marks?
No, it's like a religious Mark is like her best friend like goes to like all these church services around the area.
I agree, John. He mentioned calling yourself a victim when you're a named defendant in these sex crimes, and It really is an insult to actual, victims. All right. Well, so yeah, I hope you get your own TV. Have you been can you still watch The View? Does she like to watch The View?
She doesn't watch The View.
Oh, even your mom doesn't. Even your mom's like, what does she call you when you're watching The View? Does she call you names or anything?
No, I don't even watch The View that much.
You lie.
It's too much left wing propaganda garbage they spew, which I don't like. And I heard a rumor that ABC is canceling The View. I
Yeah,
saw it on Twitter that I
I don't
saw it on
think that's
Twitter
true.
they're canceling The View, but it is some people point out, oh, it's a fake report. They're not canceling The View.
Yeah, I don't think it's true. Does she ever call you the Marquiata?
Hmm?
No, I don't know.
Macchiata.
Mariquita?
I don't get it. I don't follow you there.
This is a Spanish word I looked up.
What does it mean?
A sissy bird.
Sissy bird.
Yeah, for watching The View.
I think her best friend even called her that once.
Really?
Yeah.
See, well, she probably meant it nice way.
Yeah, she just like insults people, even her friends. Like her best friend insults other people and other friends with like name calling and stuff.
They're probably not religious folks.
Oh, they
Now, they're
are.
religious too. They're part of a church group, but they're like insulting each other for no reason.
Dang. So can you still watch your pornography?
It's on the computer.
All right. So
I don't even watch.
Well, you don't go into your mom's room and tell her to like turn away the other direction.
Yeah, let me watch Playboy channel. I don't even have Playboy channel.
You wrap up in a plastic. You don't wrap yourself up in a plastic bag in your mom's room.
Is there still Playboy Charlie?
Well, I hear that Hefner doesn't have the Hefner family is completely. Yeah, no, the Hefner family is completely stayed away from the Playboy channel. Now it's owned by a different company.
Oh, I don't know.
And I hear like Hefner's ex-wife, Crystal Harris, is like completely.
You can look up real pornography on the internet,
Crystal Harris said that he's not really in love. She's not really in love with Hefner. She was after his money.
Whoa, and that's a shock.
And the inside the Playboy mansion,
90-year-old man.
Inside the Playboy mansion is like filthy. It's not kept clean by the staff, and like some of the animals, like they have like not
What's
very
going on there? Bestiality?
And there was a documentary. There was a documentary of Playboy inside the secrets of Playboy, and and Hefner is kind of like the Vince McMahon of the Playboy industry.
Yeah, well, I don't think they mean that right now.
I think Vince McMahon is getting some I think he saw the documentary and like do his with his working relationship with Playboy. He probably got some of the ideas from that man.
No, I don't think like Playboy was shitting on people's heads and stuff.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's not in Playboy.
Hefner does freaky things too.
Let's see here. Anything on your mind, Ludite?
Well, I just want to say I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. That's why I went away. But it was hard to listen to wrestling content. Every time I would turn it on with the headphones, they'd be talking about Vince McMahon shitting on somebody's head, and be like, "Oh God, can you please shut up?"
Yeah, exactly. You don't want people walking in.
I don't know what they all choose to explain it like.
When I was when I was in rehab, I remember watching Raw, and I was watching New Day, and my nurse came in, and she was a black woman, and I remember just looking up, and it was New Day like dancing around the ring, and I just thought, what does she think I'm watching?
I was like, damn, I wish it was Neil Jones stocking truck down. Especially
It's like,
and then
they're up there,
Shawn
New
Anderson.
Day, New Day.
Yeah. I don't understand why each podcast feels they have to go over the details. Can't some of them just go, okay, we know you know it by now. If you don't know it, look it up yourself. When I would tell people there was a scandal in wrestling, I would never explain it. I'd just be like, look, I'm not going to tell you. Just go look it up. It's pretty disgusting.
How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm better. I had
You
a
look better.
big infection. Like
Oh,
that
man.
kind of scary. And I didn't really expect to be out for that long. But I'm home now. So
Good.
it's
Good.
better.
Yeah, I see your painting's behind you, so I can see you're back home. So that's good.
Yeah. I just thought I'd try it that night because it was my second night in an emergency. So I thought I could buzz in without bothering anybody, but it didn't really work out. So and then
Thank
after
you,
that,
Golgo. He's getting a End Zone 2 cop. We do have End Zone 2's coming out, special edition VHS copies. So that's very cool. You can only get those on the the Indiegogo.
hey, I left you something in your Arbor Day post.
Yes, I'm making a short film Arbor Day.
I left you like movie guy speech in the comments about that.
Okay, I didn't go there yet.
So
I haven't looked at it because I'm doing the show. So
if you want to use it, just get it. It's from a couple of weeks ago.
all right,
But
okay.
if you want to use it, just use it. It's like movie guy, like if you
Okay.
see a movie, you know that guy.
No.
You know the guy that in the commercials and the movie posters. If you see only one movie, see Arbor Day.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see. Yeah.
I love you speech like that.
All right. I'll check that out after the show here.
If you
I didn't
want to
see it
use
before.
if you want to use it, it's for you. So just
All right. Well,
use
thank
it.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Good to see you back, Ludite. Johnny Cakes.
Good to be back.
Do you believe the report that WWE and Rock being 100% behind Cody is true, or is this a case of them quickly changing the narrative? I think this is all storyline. I said this earlier. I think it's all storyline leading up to Cody being in the match somehow. Kids today and their porn, they have such easy access. Back in the 90s, you watched Scrambled Skinamax, the Spice Channel, and prayed the screen would unscramble for a while.
And we had to walk both ways uphill.
Yeah, now they're desensitized. It's like, fuck a nipple. Now they got to watch like 5-on-1 and
Penetration.
all this like stepdaughter stuff.
Mm.
I don't know. I just hear this. This is just stuff that Intra tells me about.
Mm. Interesting.
Glad you're feeling better, Johnny, from Davy Deadmans.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
If my VHS copy of End Zone turns out to be a man shitting on a lawn, that would be pretty funny. Yeah, I do not foresee that happening. That would be strange. All right. What's on your mind, Goosey?
I don't know if you discussed it, but Scott D'Amore randomly getting fired from TNA was kind of surprising.
Yeah, that sucks. We talked about earlier. It's like I think he did what no one thought anyone could do, and that is get people like talking positively about TNA again
Yeah.
for the first time in like over 10 years, I would say. It went from total obscurity to like it actually has a positive buzz. It actually had me wanting to watch it for the first time in for as long as I can remember. And they're like, we have to fuck this up. Let's fire the guy responsible. And now, like, a lot of the roster's like upset and like seems like they want to leave. So they really screwed up what seemed to be like I'm not gonna say the complete turnaround, but a definitely upswing in the promotion.
And see, the reasoning is just like we want to go a separate way, and it's like that's not
Yeah, the reasoning
probable
is good.
cause for firing the guy.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh shit, I want since
I
we've
thought
been
like there
seeing
was some sort of sex abuse or
yeah,
some shit.
that's what I was like, oh shit. But then I was like trying to understand. I was like, I don't even really understand what they're saying. It just seems like stupid. They're like almost saying like people like
I mean-
him and not the company or something. It seemed really stupid.
I mean, this guy's gotten to the point now where is it 2 Royal Rumbles in a row? A champion from TNA was in the Royal fucking Rumble.
Yeah, who would have ever
Something
thought
that
that?
is absolutely unheard of in pro wrestling.
Yeah, and
is
not
like
just in it, but both times they carried the title with them, and
yeah,
they put
I mean,
WWE actually put it over.
yeah. Like, when has WWE ever like put over their semi
Yeah, no.
competition? You know, crazy.
Because they're not affecting them.
Yeah, Lexar thinks that would be a negative, but I was like, no, that's a huge positive.
No, it's
Yeah,
because
it's
they're not a threat to them, TNA, like they were in 2004 or something.
Yeah, I don't think they ever were a real threat.
They were never a real threat.
But still, though, the history of WWE, even things that really shouldn't be a threat, there have always been like really against, never shown them on TV, and usually going out of their way to screw with them. So it's very completely against WWE. This year, you can make the claim it's different person running it, but it wasn't last year.
So. It's just crazy shit when you think of it.
Scott is from my hometown, Dave Deadman says.
I've noticed WWE has been bungling free agent signings left and right lately. Now the latest reports are Camille, the big blonde from NWA, who's actually a pretty good wrestler, is now not going to WWE anymore and is going to AEW, likely to sign with. And it's like, how are you like? People think Okada's going to WWE. Not a chance, guys.
Yeah, and then some of the other ones like
you think Okada's going to be accept just being on NXT for like a year and a half?
Switchblade and Will Ospreay. And then I see people in our group like, oh, these guys are nobodies. It doesn't matter. WWE doesn't need them. But that's really nearsighted. For one thing, WWE always needs new talent to continue. It'll, they always need new people. And this idea that they're nobodies, I mean, no one is known to the WWE audience until they are. I mean
these guys are headlining the second most attended wrestling event in fucking pro wrestling.
To the WWE fans are not known. Yeah. Okay, but neither was Seth Rollins before he was, or CM Punk, or Daniel Bryan, or no one is until they are.
Exactly.
If they're not on the WWE show, doesn't mean
it's not like on Raw they go check out ROH every Thursday night.
Yeah, you can no longer poach someone from AWA or the NWA or WCW or even ECW. It's like unless you're hiring guys like that are like 60 years old, or so
that fans might remember.
Yeah, and then if you look at this last like 12 years, all the top guys, almost all the top guys were former, what people would say indie darlings. So, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, like just go through the whole roster. Because where else would they have come from? It's either that or they were someone's relative like Roman Reigns, or they were, a like an internet like Logan Paul, but that's like just kind of like an oddball thing. Like you can't build your whole promotion around people that are Logan Paul, that are big internet people who happen to want to wrestle.
Right.
Even Cody Rhodes, people will argue. It's like, well, why did Cody Rhodes get a big contract when he came back, and why did the crowd pop so big? It's because he left and reinvented himself in Japan and in AEW. Because his last appearance in WWE, who is Stardust. So it wasn't like the crowd was like, hell yeah, Stardust is back.
And there's a reason they brought him back at WrestleMania, is because this isn't a WWE show in Wichita. It's that weekend. There's a lot of internet wrestling fans.
And then other fans see a big reaction, and they're like, "Oh, this is somebody," and then then it continues, which it's smart. But you can't act like just because someone's not in WWE, they're nobody, and then WWE shouldn't sign them, because then who would they ever get? It makes no sense. And all these people, they change their tune then. Then if they go to WWE, then they're Jade's a good example. I remember a lot of the same people who were saying she was total trash now saying she's like a superstar. And they're like, oh, really nothing has changed besides she's on a different platform.
Yeah, it's not like she got this huge pop at the Royal Rumble. A lot of people didn't know who she was. Yeah.
Alex Wright's still out there. It's true.
Das Wunderkind. There we go.
Das Wunderkind.
And he brings his own tag team partner too.
Yeah, I could bring in Disco.
I heard he's running a wrestling school. I heard Alex Wright is running a wrestling school in
when we had him on, I don't know how long ago. It was a long time ago. He talked about the wrestling school.
The right stuff.
The right stuff, baby. I mentioned people coming on the show since this, but I did. I've talked to someone who I met at New England Fan Fest. He's going to be coming on the show soon, and that is Chubby Dudley, one of the original Dudley boys from ECW. Chubby Dudley will be.
That's awesome.
So that'll be fun. Welcome to Chubbyville. That's what I call the show.
It'd be cool to get like Spike Dudley on.
Yeah, he was on years ago, but it'd be fun to have him on the video show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was a long interview or not when we had him on. Brian Matthew Clutter. I have been sorting through the Without Your Head archives, but can't find the interview with Sloth anywhere. Please advise. Chubby Checker. Actually, this is trivia. Chubby Checker is the first person I saw in concert. And as I said that makes it seem like I'm like 100 years old or something. But I was a little kid, and Chubby Checker was playing at the town fair, Barnstable County Fair, and I went and saw it. It was fun.
That's cool.
In my mind, he just kept singing the twist over and over, but I don't know if that.
He never really had a second hit.
Yeah, I don't think he had. I do think he just kept singing the twist over and over, but I couldn't.
Yeah, no, he did. And then he would have variations on it, but there was no like. There's something inside it.
I found out not that long ago. He didn't even his the twist is actually a cover. Someone else wrote it. I thought it was for sure it was his.
Was that Fat Stone?
What?
The original?
I don't know. I don't know. It's like Hurt. People think the Man in Black created Hurt.
Yeah, that seems kind of sad, but
Brian Matthew. Oh, we did that one. Dobbs wants to know, what's up, Incher? Why aren't you here, bitch? Damn. He also has a question for Lexar. Anyone on the panel consider using a plastic bag like Lexar? Are you going to start a new trend, Lexar, where all of us start jacking off in plastic bags?
It should. It'll be. I'll share my gimmick with the Headyverse.
Please don't share it, in a plastic
One of my
bag.
one of my many gimmicks.
You don't want to get a gimmick bag from Lexar.
Yo, not exactly what they call a goodie bag.
Big Dick was always my favorite. I heard that about you, Gogo.
Mm.
Man, I watched original ECW in the 90s and do not remember Chubby Dudley. Maybe he was pre-95 ECW. Yeah, he was around. I mean, he didn't do a lot, but he was around. It'll be fun. What's the first? We met him, Vic. Remember Chubby Dudley?
Oh,
we
yeah.
Met him and we did an interview there with him. And so anyway, he's going to come on the show for a regular interview. He does his own podcast too. So he's fun. Anyone on the panel considered using we did that. I'm sorry. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Cody Rhodes?
Mm,
The neck tattoo?
Yep. And his theme song.
that's not a good sign that we all have to take half hour to think about it.
I think finish my story. Damn.
I think I wish Dustin would have had a run.
I'm a big Dustin fan. The King of England has cancer. What are your favorite memories of his current reign as the king?
Cancer.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that he has cancer. It's too bad.
I don't care for the Illuminati song.
Yeah. I was at the Prince Charles Theater. My movie actually played at the Prince Charles Theater when I was in London. And then I wondered if they were going to rename it the King Charles Theater, but apparently they did not.
Lexar, you have the greatest ability to ask the dumbest fucking.
That was Dobbs, actually.
Oh, it was Dobbs. Damn, Dobbs. Dobbs, you won up Lexar because that was the most pointless fucking question ever. This show's ever had.
You ever get the urge to poop an hour after you pooped already?
Yeah, if I've got diarrhea.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone else is on. I think someone else is here. I didn't see them. They're hidden down at the bottom here.
Toronto Stevie.
Oh yeah.
Raw report. Raw report.
That's true, Gogo. No one had King Charles in their raw report. In their death pool. You know who the winner of the death pool was last year? Boom! Death pool champion.
Who did you predict was going to
Superstar Billy Graham. Yeah. So hell yeah, Superstar died so I could win.
Fuck yeah, you died. All
right, I'm sorry. My apologies to the Superstar Billy Graham family. Adrenaline in my soul. That he sucked eggs. I have a Cody sucks eggs shirt out there for sale, Dave. I should get my shirts up on the website so people can see them easier. Stinking turncoat. There you go. No one had King Charles. We did that one. Sorry. All right. Toronto Stevie. Speaking of shirts, so my newest stuff, the Pioneers of Professional Wrestling. Those shirts are available now. We got Martin Farmer Burns and Ed Strangler Lewis. Pretty rocking. So you can celebrate wrestlers from the turn of the century. And also, I was going to put this up, but I'm afraid Mitten will turn me in. Absolutely t-shirt. That one's pretty sweet. I'm telling you, if they would use the name Absolutely, they would have never lost the tag belts. So if you want to get them back from Sting, I suggest you rename your team Absolutely. Steven, what's on your mind?
I apologize for coming in so late, but well, slow news week, huh?
Yeah, last 2 weeks, Intra's like nothing happening. I'm gonna go take a nap. Damn.
So, do you think? Well, just in, I can't believe I've listened to so much podcasting in the last it's been less than a week, but I've heard so much speculation in the last few days. Oh, is this a work? Is this not a work? Did
and Cody?
Yeah, on this whole
I think
thing.
it's clearly a work, personally.
I thought you knew something else.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that would be a hell of a work. Like, we're going to make Vince into the ultimate heel.
But like, did Rocky it's Rocky's idea? Is this TKO's idea? Is like, so much.
I think it has to be someone who has some wrestling knowledge. So I would think it would be Rock and Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's clearly in the story, and we'll see it play out. That will culminate in Cody in the match somehow. But I think you have to have The Rock there too, because you can't advertise The Rock to fans and then The Rock's not in it either. I predict a 3-way, because then you culminate all the storylines, the head of the table, the We Want Cody, the finish the storyline, the finish my story. Also, you protect The Rock from doing a singles match. And the last time he did a singles match, he like ripped every muscle in his body. And that was like 7 years ago. Can he pull off like a main event Mania caliber match 1-on-1 without really killing himself? If you have a 3-way, you can take some of that off of him, have him do his signature moves, have Cody take the big bumps.
So do you think that's Rock's? You talk about whose idea it was? Do you think it would be Rock's idea? Let's tease him with, I'm going to wrestle Roman at Mania, and then bring Cody into the match somehow. Like,
yeah, I think. Well, like I said, I think it's probably him and Triple H, maybe even Cody. But I think it would have to be someone with wrestling knowledge to know how the wrestling fans would react. I don't think like TKO would really know any like. And they've wanted to do the Rock match for years, so it's not like this is just something out of the blue. Like, because that's really why they started the head of the table stuff, and they tried to do it the last like at least 2 or 3 WrestleManias, and they just never were really able to do it. And then I remember this year, everyone was saying, a few months ago, they thought it was Rock was finally going to do it, and then because it was still the strike, and then the strike ended, like, oh, now we probably won't get it. It seems like people forgot that for some reason, but I mean, we have been talking about that match happening for a long time.
Well, anyway, it actually piques my interest about this press conference.
Whether it was a work or not to begin with, I think it clearly isn't now. It is now, because they're handing out signs and stuff at Raw, which I'm fine with. I'm not against wrestling as a work, so that's fine. And if you can find a way to work the smart audience, like I said earlier, no one believes wrestling's real, but you can make them believe like the outside stuff is real. Like, Rock's really trying to get in this or whatever. And it's working. People are into this.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see Cody win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised. I give him all the credit. I really thought by now the crowd would have turned on him like they did in AEW, but I mean, they're really behind the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Will they be forever? I wouldn't have thought this long, so I don't know. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Usually, once the good guy does win the belt, then the crowd does turn on, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, even if Cody does win the belt, I've been thinking all along, he's probably going to have a reign like Dusty. Like, he's not going to be champion for very long. Otherwise, yeah, exactly. The crowd's
usually, WWE does have long reigns. That was more of a Vince. Vince is one of the only people, I think, that would always have the good guy have the belt for a long time. And his dad, usually in other promotions, is always like a long heel champion.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It seems like he's a guy that works better chasing the title. But I mean, you could always tell a different story, him defending it. But right now the story is him winning the belt. So you have to. Is the story that captivating him defending it? I don't know. Maybe it will be. He's a good promo guy, so he could go out there and tell you why he should keep having the title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Arya, it's R.I.P. to Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed,
Action Jackson.
All right. Did you want to do Raw report, or is it too late?
Well, we can zoom through it. Right. Probably could because it wasn't the best in the world, but.
Wait a minute,
After our 2 hours, a 2-hour wait, let's get to the Raw report.
No fucking history. Raw report. Raw report.
Okay. Yeah. So this we had Raw. Where did it come from? It came from St. Louis, Missouri. We get Seth Rollins coming down to the ring, and I guess he does still have that thing on his knee, but he's just in his clothing, he's been hiding it. But he comes down and he says, "Welcome to Monday Night Rollins," and the crowd's roaring and they're singing his song, and so he finally says, "We want some answers. So let's not waste any time. Cody Rhodes, come on down." Much like The Price is Right. So out comes Cody Rhodes. He comes down to the ring and he asks Seth Rollins in St. Louis, "What do you want to talk about?" And right away, Cody made a reference to last Friday. And as soon as he did that, a spontaneous Rocky sucks chant starts, and Rollins says, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that." Then a "We Want Cody" chant starts, and yes, you can see out in the crowd the "We Want Cody" signs that were passed out before the show started. But Rollins says, I think he made a reference to what it felt. It's like it was 96 or something like that when the crowd was chanting "Rocky sucks." Anyway, he looks at Cody and he says, "We need answers." Last week, he makes a reference to last week when he wanted Cody to pick him for the World Heavyweight Championship match. He says his belt's the most prestigious championship in the entire industry. So he basically wants Cody to make the match, and before Cody can basically answer him, Drew McIntyre comes out and gets in the ring, and he looks at Rollins and he says, "You're the only other person who hates CM Punk as much as I do." You know how bad Punk is for this business, and so he basically I like McIntyre was doing, and he takes off his jacket and he's got this shirt on. It's kind of a goofy looking shirt that has him standing in front of a tombstone. And on the tombstone, I think it said something like CM Punk's WrestleMania Dream. I don't know if it's available on WWE Shop or not, but he basically McIntyre looks at Cody, and I think he was telling Cody like why do you want to screw this all up? And he wants I think he wants Cody to go ahead with the match against Roman Reigns. He says, even he brings up the fact that when he fought Roman Reigns, that the bloodline was interfering in his match, and they do this all the time. And even in this case, like so these three went at it verbally. It got a little. I thought McIntyre just went on a little bit too long, and I wanted it to end, so I think McIntyre ended it by just giving Rollins a headbutt and trying to attack him. But Cody came to Rollins' aid and got McIntyre out of there. But I thought it went on maybe just a little bit too long. But McIntyre did make some pretty good points. So I thought, well, this is sort of like the bump in the road that Cody's gonna face, and what game this gets revisited later on in the show, by the way. So it started out as okay, but then like I said, I thought McIntyre should have done this maybe next week. But anyway, so we get Becky Lynch walking to the ring. And or is she backstage? Oh, she was backstage. And we get in a commercial break. Coming back, we get a fatal 4-way qualifying match for the World Tag Team titles. We had the returning Creed brothers, Imperium, DIY, and the New Day facing off against each other. This was a fast-paced tag team match with a lot of ring action in the ring, out of the ring, guys jumping off the top rope, smashing and clearing out people. We had double moves. We had a Brutus Ball from the Creed brothers.
What?
The Brutus Ball. That's where Brutus Creed just jumps in the top rope and falls on people. But this was pretty fast paced. It went through at least one commercial break and a couple of commercial breaks. And even though Ciampa and Gargano lost their championship match, I guess I personally think they're probably going to get another one because they won this match. They won the match. Their finishing move, the meet in the middle move, and DIY wins the match. And it looks like they're going to go to SmackDown, and they're going to take on Pete. So I guess Pete Dunne is back to being Pete Dunne again. He's no longer whatever that name was with Butch with Sheamus's group. And Pete Dunne's partner is Tyler Bate, who was from NXT. I don't watch SmackDown, so I know the name, but I don't know really much about this guy. But the winner of this tag team match on SmackDown, I guess, is going to get a tag team title shot. We get a backstage segment of Shayna Baszler preparing for her match against Becky Lynch. And we get Becky Lynch is in the back as well. And so this is going to be an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. And while they're having this match, the announcers bring up the fact that in the previous Elimination Chamber match, Shayna Baszler destroyed everybody, And I remember watching this match and seeing just how dominant Shayna was. But when it came to the match against Becky Lynch just beat her. And now they're in a qualifying match. The same two people that were in the championship match are now in a qualifying match. And Becky Lynch, this was kind of, in my opinion, I thought this was kind of sloppy. I don't know. It just, nothing seemed right in this match. So, but Becky Lynch, I think she got she avoided the Karafuna clutch and got her manhandle slam on Shayna Baszler and pinned her. But I thought it wasn't any good. But anyway, Becky Lynch qualifies for the Elimination Chamber match. The announcers say that this is the first time that Becky Lynch will be in an Elimination Chamber match. So we'll see who the other competitors are later on. And over the next segment, I was quite surprised and quite approving of this, but returning to Monday Night Raw, none other than everyone's favorite backstage interviewer and mine, Kathy Kelly, is back on Monday Night Raw. Don't know if this is a one-off or whether she's back full-time, but she's backstage interviewing Liv Morgan. And it looks like there's going to be another Elimination Chamber qualifying match with Liv Morgan taking on Zoe Stark next week. Liv Morgan basically is there to recite her catchphrase, "Watch me," and that's about the entirety of her interview. But it was nice seeing Kathy Kelly back. So we get Drew McIntyre is in Adam Pearce's office. We get some Adam Pearce, particularly this next segment. So McIntyre and Pearce are having a chat in the ring, but behind them is one of the television monitors, and it basically you hear Rhea Ripley's theme music playing in the arena, and Rhea Ripley going down to the ring, and Adam Pearce is a little bit upset by this, and so he basically interrupts the whatever he's saying to McIntyre to go down to the ring. But meanwhile, this is going on. Rhea Ripley gets into the ring, and she's all pissed off, and the crowd is giving her a huge babyface chant, by the way, while she's going down to the ring. And she basically wants Nia Jax to come down to the ring, but Pierce comes out and he basically says, hey, now's not the time for this. And so he says, oh, well, I know you're upset, but and I know you want Nia Jax, but here's what I'm gonna do. You could have Nia Jax, but it's for the championship, but you can have it at Elimination Chamber. And so that sort of gets good shout, good crowd pop from the crowd there. But before Pierce can do anything else, Nia Jax's music hits, and she just comes down to the ring, and she just blows past Adam Pearce. She just blows past Adam Pearce, gets in the ring, and starts fighting with Rhea Ripley. So Pierce, he basically just makes a motion to the back, and all these security guards come down to the ring. And I guess these guys, it's kind of like a bad movie, has this cliched incompetent police force. Well, these are cliched incompetent security guards. So every single one of them goes to Rhea Ripley, and Nia Jax is just standing there, and she realizes, oh, I don't have any security guards. So she just barrels past all of them and starts going after Rhea Ripley. And she beats her up and gives her that Annihilator move. And then only then do the security guards actually get her out of the ring. But Rhea Ripley ends the segment with basically getting that Annihilator bonsai drop again. So as I expected, I kind of thought that this is going to be in Australia. So Rhea Ripley is going to be the huge baby face. She's going to defend the title against Nia Jax in Australia, and she's probably going to retain the title. I can't see. I mean, I really don't think they're going to take the belt off of Rhea Ripley in Australia. She's going to take that belt into WrestleMania. So, so we get another backstage segment. It looks like it was with the Kabuki Warriors, and it says they're gonna later on they're gonna face the former champs in a return match later on the show. Coming back from the commercial break, we get a mixed tag team match, and I was surprised actually that WWE actually put Maxine Dupree in another wrestling match. A mixed tag team match, Akira Tozawa and Maxine taking on Ivar and Valhalla. And what I noticed about this match was at least Maxine was there just to get the crap beaten out of her by Valhalla, and that's exactly what happened.
Beat that ass.
So Tozawa and Ivar got the majority of the match, and this was impressive. Ivar I think he was seated on the top turnbuckle. Tozawa is standing in front of him, and Ivar just grabs him, picks him up, and gives him one of those world's strongest slams right from the top turnbuckle. And right from Ivar was standing on the middle turnbuckle, and he just picks up Tozawa, picks him up, drops him to the mat, and folds him up and pins him. And at least, Maxine didn't screw anything up, and Valhalla looked strong as she was beating her up. So we get a backstage segment with the Judgment Day, and R-Truth comes in, and I guess, despite the fact that he and The Miz got beat up last week, he's back in the clubhouse with the Judgment Day. Then we go to commercial, come back, and a woman named Jackie is also on the show, and she's interviewing The Miz. But next up, we get JD McDonough is taking on The Miz, and this is a time waster, I almost want to say, because Dirty Dom is at ringside with JD McDonough, and
Dirty Dom, done dirt cheap.
He interferes in the match on behalf of McDonough, so that brings out R-Truth. R-Truth comes down to the ring, and I think he actually gets on the ring apron. He pulls out a huge wad of money, and he gives it to JD McDonough, and McDonough is actually, I guess he's kind of happy that he's got a bunch of money, and I think he stuffed it. He tried to stuff it into his trunks, but Miz grabs him from behind, gives him the skull-crushing finale, and you get this nice visual of all this money flying all over the ring. And I was looking very hard to see if they were using real money or not, or whether it was fake. I couldn't tell. But all the money goes flying. Miz wins the match, and I was waiting for R-Truth to get in the ring and to gather up all the money and stuff it back down in McDonough's trunks. But I don't know what they did with all that money, whether he gave it to the Miz or not. So we get another backstage segment with Adam Pearce, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. So I guess we're going to get a celebration of 600 days of Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion. So we get this segment in the ring. Gunther is he comes down to the ring, and he's all happy that he's getting this celebration, but he says to the surprise of no one. Oh, of course, I can't do a Gunther impersonation. To the surprise of no one, he's celebrating 600 days of champion, and he appreciates the ceremony from Ludwig, but I don't want it anymore, because, like, what's the difference? 600 days, 700 days, 800 days, 1,000 days. He wonders. He calls himself the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, and but I'm running out of competition. There's no one worthy of challenging me for my championship. And cue the music. Out comes Jey Uso. Jey Uso gets in the ring, and I guess he wants to be the next challenger. And Gunther basically says, "Good for you. After 15 years, you finally developed the guts to step out of the shadows of your family and achieve something for yourself." But before Jey can do anything, the henchman and Gunther jump him, and quickly making the Save or New Day come down to the ring, and they just make everybody get out of the ring. Not really a fight there. They just all the heels take a powder. So it looks like Gunther is going to be challenged by Jey Uso, but I don't expect Jey Uso to take the belt. It's probably going to be a WrestleMania match. It's good enough to be a WrestleMania match. It could be Australia, but I see Gunther retaining the title when he takes on Jey Uso. We get another, for some reason or another, and I thought this feud was over. Shinsuke Nakamura still wants to wrestle Cody, even though he lost the last match. But it's announced that they're gonna have a bull rope match in the main event of tonight's show. So next up, we get the return match, the women's tag team titles, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane defending the title against Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. And I guess this run for the former NXT team is coming to a close, because the heels retain their titles. Asuka and Kairi Sane defeated them with the insane elbow, and easily beat the challengers. So next up, we get an interview segment with a woman named Jackie interviewing Sami Zayn, and they did this, I think, it was an empty arena interview. And Sammy is all sad that he lost his match to Drew McIntyre. He didn't beat Roman Reigns. But he gives a good babyface promo that he's gonna. I kind of tuned out after this, because it seems like WWE has moved on from Sammy as well.
Boy, not that long ago, he's the most popular guy in the company.
And now he's and now he's looking for, I guess, with everything happening recently, he's kind of like the odd man out of the world title picture and all that. So it doesn't look good for him going into 2024. So they promote next week. There's going to be a six-man tag team match. Jey Uso and the New Day taking on Imperium. JD McDonough taking on R-Truth. So we start taking on Liv Morgan, elimination qualifying match. And then finally, the main event of the evening, a bull rope match. Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura. They make the announcers say that this is the same bull rope that they actually mention him. Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes used in matches. So we get a bull rope match. Surprisingly, I mean, unlike previous bull rope matches, this was a pretty tame bull rope match. I've noticed that in WWE. I mean, they had one with Randy Orton and Dusty Rhodes. That was a pretty tame bull rope match. I can't think of any other ones. You said Dustin used one. I can't remember a Dustin Rhodes bull rope match.
They had a really good one, Dustin and Cody in AEW.
Oh, in AEW, okay. But
That was
WWE,
one of the best matches in AEW.
Yeah, but I remember the 70s bull rope matches with Dusty and Superstar Graham and a lot of blood. So
yeah.
So this was not it, unfortunately. So basically, Dustin. I'm sorry now. Now you got me talking about Dustin Rhodes. Cody basically takes the bull rope, and I think he just basically took the bull rope and didn't he shove it between Shinsuke's legs and kind of like make him a soprano? I think. But basically, Cody hits Shinsuke with his Crossroads move a couple of times. The first time it was for a near fall. The second time, he pinned Shinsuke to win the match. So, Shinsuke was another good sort of obstacle in the road for Cody, but so I think Cody's moving on because while Cody is celebrating, Drew McIntyre comes back and basically jumps him from behind and beats him up. So the show ends with Drew McIntyre attacking him, and I think he Claymore kicked him and McIntyre is standing tall over Cody as the show goes off the air. So it certainly seems like this is the end of the Cody Rhodes Shinsuke Nakamura feud, and now Cody's going to go into one with Drew McIntyre, another obstacle in the road on his way to WrestleMania. Considering what happened on Friday, I thought this was kind of like a lackluster Monday Night Raw. I really thought they really should have done more than just the opening segment. But like I said, so Thursday, tomorrow night at 7:00 we're getting this press conference briefing, and I guess the whole WrestleMania picture should become a little bit clearer about what's going on. The Rock is supposed to be there, so
nothing like trying to catapult off this off the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so we'll see what
we they should do a halftime show again.
Yeah, halftime heat. There we go.
Yeah, that was halftime heat.
Oh yeah, let's do Rock versus Roman at the halftime.
Halftime heat. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exclusively on Peacock. Yeah. So we'll see if the picture becomes clearer tomorrow night, and secondly on SmackDown. I usually don't watch SmackDown. I did watch it this past week just to see what.
Pissed. He said that's the best show in the world. Right? He even thinks it's better than The View.
But so if Cody does win the title, and you've got Cody Rhodes, and I don't know who Rollins is going to face. Since Punk's injured, I don't know who Rollins is going to face at WrestleMania. But whoever comes out of it as champion, if you are going to have Cody and Rollins as champions, one of those guys has to go to SmackDown. I don't think they're gonna have both guys on the same show. I'd send Rollins to SmackDown and keep Cody on Raw.
I'd send him to hell.
So, but we'll see. Well, like I said, I'm probably going to watch this thing just to follow it. I might even tune into SmackDown on Friday to see where this is going. But
do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
But but like I said, I would give thumbs in the middle to a lackluster Monday Night Raw this week. So yeah. Anyway, it's late and I gotta go to bed, but I wanted to get the Raw report in.
Well, good to see you, Steven. Thank you for doing it.
Okay. See you next week.
Yep. Well, I just dropped something. Hold on a second. All right. So what's up next here? I popped the shoe off one of my New Day guys. But it popped back on. All right. Dobbs Dean Maya. Have you ever pooped in your cat litter to make your cat feel better about pooping in the cat litter?
No.
Have you ever considered pissing on the side of a tree like a dog while barking? I do pee in the woods quite often. Tonight on my walk, actually, because there are no public restrooms open during the winter here. So I did go off into the side of the highway behind some trees. I did not bark.
But that was cold.
It was cold. I got the chilly willy.
Did you squeal like a pig?
I did not. I try to be quiet and take my earbuds out so I don't see if I see anyone coming. Good. Bruce Briscoe, do you think we will see Hulk Hogan's last match try to stop Roman Reigns from breaking his title record? That would be something. The real head of the table, Hulk
Hogan.
Pepe Poteet. Do you think Lexar is upset about The View not being renewed? I think he might try to pretend he's not, but he's heartbroken. Did Dave Deadman? I pooped in the litter box just to show the cat who's in charge. Damn.
Who's in charge?
Intimidating the cat. Then you had to clean up your own poop, though, because the cat's not going to clean up.
Wouldn't he always have to kind of clean up his own poop?
Well, normally you just flush it, I think.
There's still some cleaning involved.
No. Dave's very anti butt wiping, he told me.
No, we don't put up with that in Canada.
Yeah, there's just a bidet.
We love our butts different.
You drag your butt across the carpet. Pepe Poteet, do you think Lexar is going to stain his pants when the Wendy Williams documentary comes out? I think, that's why he wears the plastic bags, to protect the pants. Jack does the war chant while peeing outdoors. Man, I haven't done a war chant in a while. I don't know if I can do it anymore. The last few years, probably 10 years, it's been a lot harder for me to do. Hey! Well, pretty good, actually, I think. Yeah, that's good. What are your favorite memories of Bad Street USA Hunter P.S. Hayes?
Ooh, fuck.
Bad Street AUSA. AUS, who's that?
Australia.
Man, so there was a fake Michael Hayes, Bad Street, Australia.
No shit. That's awesome.
Hunter P.S. Hayes. Huh. I got to get this guy on the show.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I really I thought he just misspelt it at first. Sometimes I try to read over the misspellings.
Thanks for that.
Let's see here. Boom. Get that. Man, I would have just thought that was Michael Hayes.
Right?
Yeah. Now, this
CGI.
is actually the opposite of reality because the bourbon actually hurt the voice where I couldn't do the war chant, but maybe years of not drinking the bourbon has helped out. I can do it again. Oh, look at that. That's true. Good time waiting for Butler to leave before doing the war chant. Yeah, I don't want to get him all. He might go berserk. No, I meant it like he'd hear that and he'd just start scalping us. Or no.
Pepe,
as we all distance ourselves from that comment.
He gets the tomahawk out. Pepe Petit, what are your thoughts on Foley wanting to lose 100 pounds and dust his crown as king of the death matches? I have a different perspective on this than some people. I'm all for it. I say good for him. Motivation to lose 100 pounds and to do a final match. So you'll get into better shape to do it. He obviously wants to do it. I think being around some of the wrestling the last couple of years, because I've seen him do some appearances, probably gave him the bug to, I would like to do this one last time. Actually, if you do a hardcore match, now this is going to be weird saying about Foley. It's actually going to be easier on his body as long as he doesn't do like his big elbow off the apron and stuff like that. Just like, bleeding and stuff is not going to be as hard for his joints. That's why guys like Abdullah and the Sheik, the original Sheik, wrestled way late into their lives because they actually didn't take bumps. But I'm for it. I'm for someone if he thinks about doing it later on, it'll be too late. Why not? I say if he wants to do it while you can. Use the motivation to lose a lot of weight, get into shape. Good for him. When will we see a Pepe Petit in your head, fingers and butts t-shirt? Interesting. Will someone out there make me a fingers and butts design, and we will make the t-shirt. I'm not going to mash caca in my ass with paper like some kind of animal. That's true. Have you ever eaten that caca? Have you ever? Yeah, animals. Dave Deadman, have you ever had that that coffee that's from the bean out of the animal's butthole? So they eat the bean, they shit it out, then for some reason people wouldn't decide to pick it up and pick the beans out and make coffee out of it.
Monkeys, right? Is it monkeys or cats?
It's like some kind of weasel, I think.
I could have sworn it was either monkeys or cats.
It's some kind of weasel. I forget the name of it. It's a type of ferret or something. I have some. Jason Minton sent me some a few years ago, and I'll try just about anything, but I don't want to digest something that came out of an animal's rectum. Call me crazy, but I don't see how this would make it taste better. And it has a musky smell. It has an unpleasant smell to it. So I'm not drinking. I was gonna drink it if people would super chat me $300, but no one took me up on it. So.
I didn't like conversation. Look, coffee tastes shitty. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, exactly. If someone super chats or Venmos me $300 before the night's over, I'll bring it down and make it and drink it here. Lexar, now that CM Punk is injured. Did someone say something, sorry? Oh, by the way, my birthday is in 11 days. So if anyone wants to send Jackie Jones anything to open here live on the show, send it to Neil Jones, P.O. Box 415, Sandwich, Mass. 02563. And just drop me a note that you sent it to me. So I'll save it and open it here on the show. Now that CM Punk or a card, doesn't have to be a big gift or anything. Now that CM Punk is injured, this is Lexar. It is rumored to be Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. I mean, we've already gone all over this. John Laurinaitis now said that he is the victim of Vince McMahon. Yeah, we went over this. It's a good question, Lexar, but we went over it quite a bit. Matt Riddle says that he wants to go back to WWE. Are you intrigued? Nope, not in the least.
Hope he stays away.
Yeah, I've never. He is out. I can't deny he's a good wrestler in the ring, but I cannot stand him as a personality. Thoughts on the AEW ranking system since it was brought back? Yeah, I have no problem with it. I know some people. I don't really understand the big issue with it. Wrestling at the heart is like a fake sport. So if they're wrestling, the idea is to become, get on the top contenders list to get a title shot. So I've never really understood why this is a bad thing. And it's like a very, people always want wins and losses to be more important. And so if you have a ranking system, then aren't the wins and losses more important? I have no problem with it. I used to like it. WCW used to do it every week. They used to show the top 10. I always liked it. I used to like the top list I still like the PWI 500, but even in the old Pro Wrestling Illustrated, when I was a kid, I'd go back and look at the, who was the top 10 in the different promotions, and they'd have like the top 10. I don't know if they said heel and babyface, or they said good guy, villain, or most hated or something. But I used to like that stuff. I don't mind it. Lexar, John Moxley said that WWE wrestlers are lazy. Thoughts? I'm a big fan of Moxley, but the talent's not lazy in WWE. There was a time they definitely were, but that was honestly since the Attitude Era. That's even probably a little bit before that. I don't think you can really say that anymore. Not for decades, honestly. I'm thinking like way back when you had like Brutus Beefcake and like old, like you watch those house shows from like the 70s and 80s, like Mr. Fuji matches and stuff. Like, but I mean, that's a long time ago. So no, I would say no. Lexar, when you had your cable cut off, what did you do to be entertained? Well, I've never had my cable cut off besides like losing electricity. The one time I lost electricity a couple years ago, we lost it for like a week. I rented a room up in Boston and got out of town. Are you more old school than new school? That really depends. I'm not a guy that I'll watch a movie I've seen before once in a while, but I'm somebody who likes to always watch, like I like to watch new wrestling. I don't really like to watch stuff I've seen before, like wrestling wise. I always go and see new movies. It depends what you're talking about. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I drink black coffee. That's probably old school. It really would depend what you're talking about. Lexar, I don't manscape, so that's old school. I've never shaved my balls or my chest hair, or my arms, or legs, or anything. That's probably new school. I never knew guys really shaved like unless you were like an athlete or something. But it seems like everyone must do it because you see ads on everything. Like every podcast or anything you watch on YouTube, it's always ads to shaving your ball sack. Like get the Manscaped, you got to shave your balls. I say, man. Then I think, was there a demand for this, or did them making the product make everyone decide, oh shit, I need to start shaving my balls? Which came first, the Manscaped or the manscaping? I'm thinking there wasn't a demand. People weren't all the, man, I got to trim my pubes. And then someone's like, I'm going to make the Manscaped, and I'm going to just keep putting it out there that people need to shave their pubes. And then they made their own market. That's my theory. The AEW video game Fight Forever has their price reduced from $59.99 to $29.99. Are you intrigued? To be honest, if they would have done that right away, I probably would have bought it. But after all the really negative reviews, I've really lost any interest to get it, which is too bad because I was going to buy it. But so no. I've really heard, besides Incher, I don't think I know anyone who really likes it. Would we ever see a new TNA video game? I can never say never, but I'd say probably no. Maybe if they would have kept, I don't know. I would say no. I think they cost too much to make, and they don't have a big enough market. What items would you incorporate? By the way, I'm a big AEW fan, as everyone knows, but boy, their new mobile game is horrible. I played it for a few minutes and then uninstalled it. What items would you, this is Daniel Chad Whitehead, what items would you incorporate into a concession stand street fight? So the Headyverse concession stand street fight. Maybe popcorn, nachos,
bottle of mustard,
cotton candies. I think nachos you could cut somebody with a nacho probably.
Then the cotton candy around the guy's head. Yeah,
then salsa. When I went to see AEW in Worcester, there was they had great concessions there. That was at the DCU Center. And one place was it was a Italian place, and they just sold big meatballs, literally just a big ass meatball, not a sandwich, just a big fucking meatball.
Just a meatball.
And I was like, I was intrigued. To answer, I was actually intrigued. I was like, God damn. And there was a big ass line, and we went to our seats. I gotta go back. I'm gonna get just a big fucking meatball, and they were completely sold out. And I've thought about it. That's a couple years ago. I was like, how good must that meatball be? They just friggin' sold out of meatballs. And what a weird thing to buy when you're at a sporting event. Just like a big meatball. It was with sauce, so they just give you a big cup. You can't walk around with you holding a meatball in your hand, so you eat it out of the thing. No spaghetti, no bread, no garlic bread, no several, just a meatball. Damn, now
when you got balls, that's all you need.
Exactly. I have a video of me me eating balls in Boston. Annabelle and I were at maybe I can find it. I can be really embarrassing in public.
Yeah. I gotta go, Jack. It's past midnight here.
Right. I was going to try not to do a late show, but here we go.
I'll stick around for this video, though.
I'm going to play this video. I know Jason for sure is waiting to see me eat some balls. Everyone's on the edge of their seat.
It is amazing. The balls are so big.
He's like, I don't want to be on camera forever. Neil's about to down a ball. Oh my God, that's gross. Yeah. That's vile and wrong.
I remember it was pretty good.
Now I gotta go. See you later.
All right.
See you later.
Damn, hot butter to the face. Damn, Jackson's getting cruel. He's just like throwing like scolding hot boiling butter into someone's face in a wrestling match and they're like permanently disfigured. That's a good gimmick though. You permanently disfigure a guy, then they start wearing a mask. I like it. They're like the Phantom of the Ring.
Yeah.
Did you get what? Lexar, do you get frustrated with things?
What the fuck? Come on.
Are you a human being? Do you have human being emotions?
Emotions and feelings.
Yes. Would Jack and Intra host the Heady Awards inside the new WWE experience? Yes.
Yes,
What was the last thing you broke? The heart of the Headyverse.
Yeah.
Lexar, have you ever done something so drastic? And what was it? I don't even understand the question. Should it be like so drastic that blah, 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 not just something so drastic? I don't know, Lexar. Stephen Butler, do you think the main event matches at WrestleMania? We went with this. The good question, but a lot of this stuff we've gone over. Nikhil, according to Fightful Select, Dijak deals up in June 2024. Will Dijak resign? That's the question that's been on the tip of everyone's tongue. All wrestling fans all week have been talking. Will Dijak resign?
Fuck Vince McMahon sexually abusing people. Will Dijak keep
He's been there for what, 10 years and done shit all?
He's never made. He made it to the roster as what was it, Flapjack?
Yeah, like Mace or something.
That's about it.
Tony Schiavone loves working Collision shows. Thinks sometimes Collision is better than Dynamite. I used to think it was the best show. In the early days. I'll be honest, I haven't kept up with it. And it's not because I don't like it. There's like so much wrestling. And after Punk left, the show definitely felt different. Not just because Punk's not on there, but it's a completely different show. It felt more like the B show or the C show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a missable show. There's good stuff on there, but it seems like a missable show. T-Bar. Jackson, who's not watched wrestling for 47 years, but he knows all about T-Bar.
And with Collision, it's just like, that's such a terrible time. It's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night.
I said that when they first and so I DVR it.
I have it on a fucking Thursday.
Yeah, but I DVR it, but I don't know. I just don't even think about watching it, honestly. Usually wrestling, wrestling I like to watch live. There's something about watching it live. It's just a better experience. And so if I'm usually not home, and I'm not Mr. Cool Guy, I'm just usually not home. Moose felt like he would be on the bench in WWE or AEW. How he has a great relationship with everyone in TNA. Moose would then explain how Tony Khan and Triple H felt too much like a boss, where TNA felt like a family. Well, this is a little bit of revisionist history because Moose was going to go to WWE probably at one point, but he got in trouble for domestic assault is why They were not interested in him. And I like Moose, but this is a little bit of revisionist history. The acclaim claim they have unfinished business with the Young Bucks and FTR. Thoughts? I'm a big Acclaim fan, so yep. On this day, 47. Weird, I just said 47 years ago for Jackson. And then on this day, 47 years ago, Jonathan Jackson, one of the greatest albums ever recorded was released, Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Are you a fan? Well, 48 years ago coming up, I was born. In 11 days. On this day in WWE 20 years ago on SmackDown, your new tag team champions Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty defeated the Basham brothers for the title. What are your memories? I mean, I was a fan of Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty. I like the gimmick. Do you think anyone was ever forced to take the stink face like in the back in the locker room or in the office? I hope not.
As a favorite of Vince.
Yeah. I like Rikishi, so I hope not. Do you think Moose feels silly about saying that now that Scott D'Amore is gone? No, I think he actually said it since then, too. I think he tweeted that, like, if D'Amore is gone, he's gone. Ha ha ha! Shame on Cody. Screw him! That wasn't even a question. That's just a comment. On this day in wrestling history, the Radicals made their WWE debut in a shock defection from WCW 24. God damn, 24 years ago?
Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck. That makes me feel older than any of the stuff on here. Damn. Any memory? This is one. Yeah, I have huge memories of this. That was huge. All those guys leaving the company. And then I remember them doing a job right away to WWE guys. People have this memory that they came in and right away were used really well, but they weren't. It wasn't until Eddie, got the Latino Heat gimmick that he really took off.
Well,
and Malenko was used kind of an idiot, he was wrestling Lita. And Saturn was not really did anything until when he got Moppy, and so he's kind of a comedy guy. And Benoit was end up used well. Yeah. On this day in wrestling history, but it definitely hurt WCW. Even if those guys weren't necessarily top guys, I think it's bad for morale, those guys leaving. It was also, it's a bad visual. It's like the young guys that never got their due, left and went to WWE. Friday night on SmackDown, DIY versus Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. The winner faces Judgment for the tag titles at Elimination Chamber. Who will win? Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. Report: Triple H knew about The Rock signing match with Roman Reigns. Bless you. When he booked Cody to win the Rumble. Yeah. I believe all this is all. Some of this stuff people forget. I mean, it was months ago. What was it? A month ago? The Rock was on Raw. It was before the Rumble, saying he called out Roman Reigns. I thought, oh, well, this is obvious. I said it on the show for weeks. That's obvious. That's the match. And for years, it was going to be the match. So I thought all that was pretty obvious. Did I think they would do some kind of three-way or something? No, but yeah, I think it was obvious they wouldn't do that match, and I think now they're working to. Cody will be involved in some way. If it's a three-way or what, we'll find out. But it's nice that it's nice for you not to know the whole story, so you keep watching it, see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Today in TNA history, February 2011, Fortune turned on Immortal. Any memory of this? No. No memory of this. Who was Fortune?
I think that was Flair and like Bobby Roode and
Was that
AJ
with
Styles.
All right. And Immortal, was that that must have been a Hogan group?
Yeah, that was Hogan was like, Hogan, Jeff Hardy.
I think this is around the time I think I might still been watching it, but it was on around the time I stopped watching TNA. Looking back, them bringing Hogan and stuff really did lead to
almost irreparable harm.
Yeah. Because it was no longer like whatever if you like TNA at all before that, like all like the TNA guys were just like became like trash, and the whole company just was all older guys. And, the bounty hunter Brian Keith. It was not.
Can we listen to the Immortal members?
All right, who are they?
We got Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, Abyss, Jeff Hardy, Jeff Jarrett, Gunner.
Oh wow, Gunner.
Bully Ray, Chris Harris, and Rob Terry.
Oh man, that's a hell.
Remember Rob Terry?
Yeah, he's big. He's the big guy, right, from England.
Yeah.
Was he Team Canada?
No, they had another one that was all muscles and.
Yeah, he was like A1, right?
Yeah.
Very similar guys, I think.
Yeah.
The bounty hunter Brian Keith is officially all elite after losing an exciting opening bout to Eddie Kingston. Look, I think this guy's talented. I don't really get the gimmick. He's a bounty hunter, but he's like 5'2", and he's never like hired as to go get bounties or anything. And I'm sorry, people get mad at me on these groups, but he's never won one single match on TV. And then you're supposed to get excited they signed him. It's like they've already presented him as a jobber. Like, great, they signed this guy that's never won a match. It's like, okay, wow, it's really thrilling. People get mad at me saying they've used him great, but they haven't. He's not won anything. Should he be on there beating like their world champion? No, but he should have won a match. It's like, now what? Now you're supposed to be excited? Wrestling is more than just like cool moves.
Yeah.
It is noted that in the third week update for TNA Hard to Kill event, the TNA buys are up to 12,000. Meltzer explains that this is a fantastic number, as they would bring the total number of PLE buys up to around 28,000. Yeah, it's great. And then they fired the guy who's been bringing up everything, bringing up interest, live crowd, pay-per-view buys. They're like, I know what we should do. Fire this guy. This seems like a good idea. No wonder TNA always like just fizzles out. It's run by idiots. Or owned by idiots. For me, I was at a place where I knew I needed to be. I needed to be in AEW. When I got the phone call to go back to WWE, I didn't even answer it. It was nope. Swerve Strickland. Cool. Swerve's awesome. I've been saying it for a while, and I think it's clear the crowd wants him to be the guy. And after tonight, they basically did like the double turn. He's the clear baby face. Hangman's clear heel. You go with him. He can be your new top guy.
Mm-hmm.
We lost Carl Weathers. Rest in peace. My favorite films were Predator and Happy Gilmore. I mean, you got that's a thing. Friggin' he doesn't like Rocky film. How can you even say rest in peace Carl Weathers and hate Rocky movies? CM Punk says the current WWE locker room is everything the business is supposed to be. Well, I mean, how much? I'm a Punk fan, but how much can you believe the dude? We'll see in a
at the
few
end of his
months.
rope. He can't.
Yeah, we'll see in a few months. Have you seen the horror movie 30 Days of Night? Yeah, it's a good movie. It's based on a graphic novel, which is very good. Great ending. The current plan, and it's a nice idea, although they did do the same idea in Tales from the Crypt comic. The current plan is for Andrade to be a babyface on the Monday Night Raw brand. I've said for a long time, the guy's talent and stuff, but I just think I don't really see much in him though. Like he doesn't connect to the crowd. He's always pissed that he's not being used well. So I predict nothing. I predict he does nothing. There were already some in the company openly talking about the idea of Cody winning the world championship and challenging the winner of Roman versus Rock for SummerSlam and a unification. I don't think that's what will happen because if you do that, you're gonna risk the Reigns Rock match getting booed, and I don't think they want that.
I mean, you're gonna have this great story that Cody Rhodes is writing end at SummerSlam.
Yeah, look. I know SummerSlam's bigger than like No Way Out or something, but like it's still WrestleMania. What everyone thinks that's the main. If you want to have your new guy, the new champion that's beats the champions had the belt for literally years, you want to do it at WrestleMania. 2024 marks 10 years since Kevin Owens signed with WWE. Wow.
Oh.
It always seems like he's about ready to go somewhere. But never really like, I mean, I can't say he's like a job guy or anything, but it always seems like he's on the cusp of like the next level, but basically always right there around like a near top guy. On this day in 2000, WWE Raw, the Radicals, X-Pac, and Triple H defeated Cactus Jack, The Rock, Too Cool, and Rikishi. I do remember that match. It was really good. Raw triples, Nitro in the ratings that night, 6.5 to 2.7. It's one of the largest margins ever of victory. Any memories? Yeah, I remember that match. I will say usually on Raw, like the Raw, 4 or 5-way matches were fun because all the guys would come and do all their big spots and get like a big pops. It was fun. On this day in 2008, WWE severs ties with Louisville-based Ohio Valley Wrestling effective immediately. The move was done to consolidate WWE's developmental talent into one central location, which would be Florida Championship Wrestling. Yeah, I mean, a lot of top guys came out of OVW, but you can't deny a lot of top people have come out of not necessarily Florida Championship Wrestling, but NXT. Will TNA regret sacking Scott D'Amore? I think so. Especially if, I think it's a bad move. I think it's bad morale for the people. It leaves a bad taste in the fans' mouth who actually have liked the company for the first time in a long time. Definitely bigger than Fastlane. It's true. Let's see. Tyler just posts like a picture of Steve Austin. Oh, it's like Steve Austin has an album. Oh, but it's not Steve Austin. It's songs by other people, by Waylon Jennings and stuff. Weird. I don't know. Steve Austin Stone Cold Country. He bought it at like a flea market or something for $1. That's pretty cool. I'd buy that. I'd buy that for $1. Would Joe put Swerve over for the belt? I mean, would yeah, I would. Yeah, of course, absolutely. I like Joe. It's a good guy for Swerve to beat, but I don't think you're gonna really take off with Joe as your champ. Nothing against him, but you need, especially AEW right now. I think they need like the young hot baby face that the crowd really wants. That's the guy. That's who I would go with. You need the hero, and if he doesn't do it right now, you definitely keep those two. Don't. It shouldn't be a one and done where like if Joe wins and that's the end of it. You could, if Swerve doesn't beat him this time, you got to keep him hunting for the title. Swerve needs to be your top hero. So I'm not against Joe winning the 3-way, but then you keep Swerve in the mix and then he wins it, at one of the other pay-per-views.
Does AEW have really any top baby faces other than like Hangman Page and Adam Copeland?
No, because and Page is now a heel, and MJF is hurt, and he was their top guy. So that's why I've been saying it was a huge mistake for a while, because it looked like they were trying to fight the fans and keep Swerve heel, and it was really the guy the fans want to love, and they'll always love Moxley, but he's I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's necessarily a face or heel. Or
running around with Blackpool Combat, wherever the hell they are,
Tony Oberstar, would you rather be talk in Australian accent or Scottish accent for the rest of your interest? Probably Australian, I think. I think the ladies like an Australian accent. That's not a knife. This is a knife. I'm kind of stuffed up at the moment, so I can't normally even do one anyway, an Australian accent, but I definitely can't do one now. Susie, one of the In Your Head originals, I used to talk to her a lot, and I remember because there's like a feud between New Zealand and Australians, and I was like, what's this all about? And she's like, well, New Zealand say fish and chips, and we say fish and chips. And I was like, okay. Mike Bessler, what are your favorite pre-Honky Tonk Man memories of Wayne Fair? So I have to be honest, Mike, I'm not as old as Mike Bessler, so I have no pre-Honky Tonk Man memories. The first time I ever saw the Honky Tonk Man, he already was the Honky Tonk Man. Yeah, I know, but Mike, he was going to Memphis back in like 79, back when he was in his early 20s. So
I saw him in Stampede. When he was, sometimes they call him Wayne Ferris.
Yeah, were you a big fan?
He was meant to be a heel. He had some good lines though. He did the guitar thing before,
Yeah, and he was doing the he had the suit.
And he was not too hard because it's too hard. He wanted it just to say Honky Tonk Man on the suit, and Stu billed him as Honky Wayne or something. And he didn't like that. He was like Honky Tonk Wayne. And he went like, what? That's not what I asked you to put on the posters.
Austin, you prefer oranges or tangerines? That's an interesting question. I prefer a tangerine to like a navel orange, but my favorite citrus would be the sumo orange, but they're only in season a short time of the year, which happens to be right now. So go get your, they're a little expensive, but go get yourself a Sumo Orange. They look kind of ugly, but they're the best. Super sweet and very, very juicy. Each one weighs like a pound. They're big. Is there, Brian Matthew Clutter, is there still a WCW World War III shirt available? There is. I have a World War III WCW Ring Crew shirt. Super chat me right now. I believe it's either XL or 2X, I think. Super chat me $100 and you can have it. Postpaid. Or Venmo Headyverse. Did Intra actually get fired from In Your Head? And details about it will surface in a pending investigation. Damn. I'll just say this. Over the years, anytime I've made fun of Intra here on the show, it was because Sal McGee made me do it. I am the real victim. Is the dark, seedy underbelly of wrestling finally getting exposed? And is Vic Schiavone next? Damn. Did Al even exist? Or is he part of the Mandela effect? That could be.
He tried to get on last week, but he said some choice words in the chat.
I think it was a fake Al, because they were sending like some really really nasty messages in the private message. And I don't think my boy Al would do that. Seemed like a pretty nice fellow.
Maybe it was Al Ulb pretending to be Al.
I kind of think it might have been Tazo, but I don't know. All righty. Well, that is all the questions. Jackson also sent a video. The Rock, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Is Intra still mad at In Your Head fan fiction? Probably. Still pissed. I think we should bring it back, but what do I know? All right, we'll be back next week. Not same heady time. We'll be back Tuesday. We will be having Chubby Dudley on soon too. I got to set that up. Maybe next week. We'll see. We'll have the Headies, not next week, but sometime in February. We're in award season right now. So, but you have time. Go and fill out the ballot. Mr. Jackson made an actual ballot. You can just click on it. If you don't have an answer for everything, that is fine. That is fine and dandy. We will not say, you son of a bitch, answer every single thing. There's also a second page. So after you fill out the first, hit the next. The second page is all in your head, like fan-related stuff. So fill those both out, or one or the other, as many or as few as you want. And the more people who've put them out, the less people can bitch. So you can't be, hey, you guys are AEW marks. Well, go and vote on the ballot. And the more people vote, the more honest it will be of the overall Headyverse view. Now, some people also sent me the ballot. That's fine. I will take those into consideration as well. But it'll be a good time. All right. So, let's get out of here, folks. Had a good time. I've got a little bit of a cold.
Yeah.
I'm going to get out of here. We're going to take our time machine. Time machine. If Ivar had the time machine, he would have won the Rumble, and we wouldn't be talking about Rock and Cody. We'd be talking about Ivar. Do you think that would have been a record-setting WrestleMania if it was Roman Reigns versus Ivar?
I would have won the Royal Rumble contest. I would have been happy.
Yeah, that'd been pretty sweet.
Ivar breaks the Roman streak.
Exactly. That would have been sweet. Good night, Dave Deadman.
Yeah, night, Dave.
Hashtag we want Ivar. If you're a horror movie fan, Without Your Head will be live tomorrow. What?
Wouldn't chant it because it goes without saying.
Exactly. And if you're a horror fan, I'll be back tomorrow Without Your Head, talking about horror stuff that's on just like Without Your Head on YouTube or withoutyourhead.com. All right, let me find. Oh, here it is. All right, we'll get out of here. Bye.
Bye.
Andre the Giant. Andre was big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not small. No, no, no. Andre could drink and he could fight. Drink, drink, drink. And a fight, fight, fight. Andre was big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not small. No, no, no. Andre could drink and he could fight. Drink, drink, drink. And a fight, fight, fight. Andre the Giant. Andre was big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not small. No, no, no. Andre was great. He was not bad. A great big heart and a great big man. Andre was big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not small. No, no, no. Andre could drink and he could fight. Drink, drink, drink. And a fight, fight, fight. Andre the Giant.
From Grenoble, France.